Chapter 1021 Exchange Skills. When this news spread, the people of the Silver-Eyed Wing Branch were simply in complete disbelief. And Linger, as the absolutely renowned beautiful little girl of the Silver-Eyed Wing Branch, had a large number of admirers, many of whom were from other branches. Gradually, many from other branches of the Extreme Spirit Clan also learned about a young Upper God King who rescued Linger from Luo Chen's hands. They learned that this young Upper God King possibly possessed sovereign-level strength. Of course, the vast majority held doubts about this claim. They simply couldn't believe that an Upper God King could have sovereign-level strength. However, as Linger came out to confirm the claim, and a single immortal divine venerable couldn't even unravel the divine power shackles Yi-Chun put on Luo Chen, with it taking a sovereign to do it, many from the Extreme Spirit Clan began to believe that Yi-Chun truly had sovereign-level strength. An Upper God King possessing sovereign-level strength. Plus, this Upper God King rescued the beautiful little girl Linger. This buzz quickly attracted many from the Extreme Spirit Clan to the Extreme Spirit Martial Land, wanting to see this Upper God King, and quite a few even wanted to spar with him to see if he was really as formidable as the rumors claimed. Extreme Spirit Martial Land. The foreign personnel waiting to participate in the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection were all arranged by the Extreme Spirit Clan officials stationed at the venue in accommodations similar to caves. Meanwhile, at the guards' quarters outside the residential area, a large group of Extreme Spirit Clan members were surrounding a sovereign, speaking loudly. "Senior Lei Bo, hasn't that Zhongli come out of the house where he's been cultivating? Senior Lei Bo, have you heard that this Zhongli saved Linger of the Silver-Eyed Wing Branch this time? And it's said that even though he's an Upper God King, he possesses sovereign-level strength. We're all here looking for him. Senior Lei Bo, can you call him out? We want to face him and see if he's truly as formidable as people say." The Upper God King Zhongli they referred to was actually Yi-Chun. Before Yi-Chun was about to arrive at the Extreme Spirit Martial Land from the shallow Blue Sea area, he directly used the Transform Easily Divine skill to slightly alter his appearance and changed his name from Yi-Chun to Zhongli. The name Zhongli was taken from the names of two women closest to Yi-Chun, Zhang Yao and Long Li, with the character Li from Long Li slightly modified to appear more masculine. Yi-Chun changed his appearance and name because of previous events. Previously, in the ancient Forbidden Grounds, he had killed Shuling Chan and Blood-Flying Yen of the Blood Wing Clan, and took the most precious, heavenly forbidden flame. The Blood Wing Clan, as the true Spirit Divine Kingdom's #1 supreme clan, had countless powerful sovereigns, and evidently, many divine masters capable of traveling the cosmic sea had been born in their clan. Even if Yi-Chun teleported from the ancient Forbidden Grounds across numerous regions to the Extreme Spirit Sea, this miraculous teleportation was something the Blood Wing Clan probably wouldn't expect, as they likely believed he was still in the ancient Forbidden Grounds, with the Extreme Spirit Sea lying in the southernmost region of the true Spirit Divine Kingdom star domain, far from the Blood Wing Clan. But just in case, Yi-Chun didn't want to casually disclose his appearance and name, fearing the Blood Wing Clan might come looking for him. After all, if Yi-Chun appeared in the Extreme Spirit Clan under his own name, given his terrifying combat power and the need to make a name for himself in the Extreme Spirit Clan to meet the sovereign-level figures there, it wouldn't be impossible for the information to eventually reach the Blood Wing Clan. In this case, naturally, it was better to change his name and alter his appearance. When Yi-Chun changed his appearance and name, and instructed Linger not to disclose his original name, Linger was also surprised. Upon hearing Yi-Chun's explanation about the inconvenience due to other clans, Linger, who was already filled with admiration and gratitude towards Yi-Chun, immediately agreed not to disclose Yi-Chun's original name and appearance. After all, since Yi-Chun dared to venture into the various tests of the Extreme Spirit Martial Land, it was clear he held no hostility towards the Extreme Spirit Clan, so naturally Linger agreed to this small request from Yi-Chun. Before Yi-Chun altered his appearance, he directly knocked Luo Chen unconscious, and even used divine soul skills to change Luo Chen's memory of his original appearance. Once everything was arranged, Yi-Chun entered the Extreme Spirit Martial Land as Zhongli. At this moment, The guards' quarters at the extreme spirit martial land were noisy, with many calling to see Zhang Li, which made Lei Bo, the six-star sovereign responsible for the extreme spirit martial land, feel at a loss as to whether to laugh or cry. During this period, people kept coming, and Lei Bo gradually learned much about this Zhang Li, whom Linger brought to the extreme spirit martial land. He was also shocked for quite a while at the idea of an upper god king possessing sovereign-level strength, and could hardly believe it. He too wanted to see this upper god king Zhang Li in action. However, he couldn't directly agree to the extreme spirit clan members' requests to call out the upper god king Zhang Li, because once he arrived at the extreme spirit martial land, Zhang Li locked himself in his residence to begin cultivation, and as a sovereign, Lei Bo naturally couldn't interrupt others' cultivation casually. In the end, Lei Bo could only say to the members of the extreme spirit clan, "I understand your thoughts. Zhang Li is currently cultivating. Once he completes his cultivation and comes out, I will relay your thoughts. As for whether he agrees to accept your challenge matches, it depends on him. A guest from afar deserves courtesy, and we can't force it." With Sovereign Lei Bo saying this, the members of the Extreme Spirit Clan gathered at the Extreme Spirit Martial Land could say no more. Of course, letting them give up the idea of seeing Yi-chun and dueling with him was also impossible. Many would come daily to check if Yi-chun had finished cultivating and emerged from seclusion, and as the news of Linger being rescued spread more widely, rather than decreasing, the number of people flocking to the Extreme Spirit Martial Land waiting for Yi-chun to come out of seclusion actually increased. Among those planning to spar with Yi-chun were even a few one-star sovereigns. During this time, Linger of course came to find Yi-chun several times. Seeing her idol brother Yi-chun, now known to all as Zhang Li, always in closed-door training, Linger waited silently for half a day each time in the Extreme Spirit Martial Land. This sight of Linger made many members of the Extreme Spirit Clan, who admired her immensely, heartbroken. These admirers had never seen Linger so concerned about a person. That upper god king saved Linger. Rumor has it he's that powerful. Beauties love heroes. Linger must have special feelings for that upper god king. Thinking of this possibility, many members of the Extreme Spirit Clan felt both jealous and resentful towards Yi-chun. The desire to challenge Yi-chun and test his strength grew even stronger. On this day, after more than half a month, Yi-chun finally completed the training of the third divine pattern of the eternal god body, the water god pattern, and walked out of the dwelling to relax for a moment. When he reached the plaza outside the dwelling, he was immediately surrounded by a group of foreign martial artists. "Are you the Zhang Li brother who recently came to the Extreme Spirit Martial Land?" Several foreign martial artists directly asked Yi-chun. Seeing the crowd surrounding him, Yi-chun was slightly surprised, then smiled and nodded. "Yes, I am Zhang Li. Is there something the matter?" Hearing Yi-chun admit that he is the one whose fame has spread during this time and who, as an upper god king, possibly possesses sovereign-level combat power, the foreign martial artists surrounding Yi-chun all exclaimed, "Zhang Li brother, you've become famous recently. The matter of you saving Linger has reportedly spread within the Extreme Spirit Clan, and many clan members came looking for you, wanting to spar with you to see if you're truly that powerful. Rumor has it that, as an upper god king, you possess sovereign-level combat power? To be honest, although we are not members of the Extreme Spirit Clan, we came to the Extreme Spirit Martial Land for the selection, just like brother, and even we want to see your strength." As the foreign martial artists voiced their opinions, the news of Yi-chun coming out from closed-door training spread outside. Many Extreme Spirit Clan members who were stationed outside all flocked to the dwelling's plaza. "Is he the upper god king who saved Linger?" Whoosh! As these members flooded in, they saw Yi-chun surrounded by the crowd.
Countless gazes focuset on Yi-chun.
Even six-star sovereign Lei Bo followed in from the back of the crowd, looking at Yi-chun from afar. Surrounded by so many people and under such scrutiny, Yi-chun was momentarily surprised. But recalling the words of the foreign martial artists earlier, Yi-chun finally understood the situation. "I'm sure that little girl Linger knew I wanted to meet some influential figures of the sovereign realm in the Extreme Spirit Clan and needed to boost my reputation. so she didn't conceal my combat power. An upper god king possessing sovereign-level combat power would indeed cause a sensation and draw this many people. It's not surprising. That's fine. I've changed my name anyway. Boosting my reputation like this will quicker alert the sovereign realm figures of the Extreme Spirit Clan, helping me investigate General Insha sooner. After pondering for a moment, Yi-chun showed no change in expression, smiling gently at the crowd surrounding him. At this moment, an eager voice from an Extreme Spirit Clan member called out to him, "Are you the Upper God King who saved Linger? They say you possess sovereign-level combat power. I am Lei Yuan from the Thunder-Eyed Wing branch of the Extreme Spirit Clan. My combat power also reaches the ultimate level of Lower Immortal Divine Venerable. I don't believe a God King can possess sovereign-level combat power. I want to challenge you. Are you willing to spar with me? Accept my challenge." Yi-chun looked at the person challenging him, a Lower Immortal Divine Venerable with a pair of wings. Unlike Linger's silver wings of the Silver-Eyed Wing branch or Luo Chen's gray wings of the Gray-Eyed Wing branch, this Lei Yuan from the Thunder-Eyed Wing branch of the Extreme Spirit Clan bore a pair of wings shimmering with purple lightning. Upon hearing Lei Yuan's challenge, Yi-chun smiled and said, "Spar? Certainly, no problem. However, there are so many of you here, it seems many wish to spar with me. Doing it one by one would waste time. Let's do this. I'll agree to 3 bouts. As long as it's someone with combat power below 2-star sovereign, I'm willing to spar. You all decide who the 3 contenders will be." Chapter 1022- Battle of the Extreme Spirit. Boom! Yi-chen's words immediately set the entire arena ablaze. This upper god king in front of them actually agreed to a sparring challenge. Moreover, he accepted a battle power below the 2-star sovereign level. Does this not mean that he is confident of at least defeating an ordinary 1-star sovereign? Could the earlier rumors be true, that this upper god king really possesses sovereign-level combat power? Amidst the clamor, the key question facing the Spirit Clan people now is, which 3 will step forward to fight? In an instant, the Spirit Clan people gathered together to discuss, and some even sent messages to those not present, telling them about what was happening at the Extreme Spirit Martial Land. Before the battle participants were finalized, many who received the news had already flown out from the Extreme Spirit Sea to the territory of the Extreme Spirit Martial Land. Among them, the most attentive to Yi-chen's news was Linger, who was also in the crowd rushing over. The young girl, upon arriving, immediately spotted Yi-chun surrounded by the crowd. She quietly transmitted to Yi-chun, "Big brother Yi-chun, I heard you accepted 3 sparring challenges, and you even agreed to fight a sovereign level 1. Even though she knew Yi-chun was formidable, considering his earlier suppression of Luo-chan was merely at the mid-level Immortal Divine Venerable combat power, Linger couldn't help but feel a bit worried upon hearing Yi-chun was truly going to demonstrate sovereign-level combat. Seeing the worried look on Linger's beautiful face, Yi-chun smiled and transmitted back, "Don't worry. Since I'm here at the Spirit Clan, I should perform well. Otherwise, how can I make the important figures in your clan notice me?" Yi-chen's light and easy tone made Linger's heart unknowingly relax. Linger could feel that the big brother in front of her, who was only a few years older, had an inexplicable aura. Just like he could create a miracle of having sovereign-level combat power as an upper god king, he must have countless miracles hidden in him. Perhaps the 3 battles are indeed no problem for him. While Linger and Yi-chun were communicating silently, the Spirit Clan people who rushed over also gathered to discuss the battle slots. Though the initial purpose of the sparring was for the Spirit Clan people to see if Yi-chun was truly as powerful as the rumors said. But since it was going to be a battle and one side was a foreigner while the other side was the Spirit Clan, the battle would certainly involve the face of the Spirit Clan, and the battle participants should be carefully chosen. Meanwhile, other foreigners like Yi-chun, who also wished to gain entry into the Extreme Spirit Sea through the Extreme Spirit Martial Land, could only stand by and wait for the situation to unfold. Some of them also wanted to spar with Yi-chun. But since Yi-chun mentioned only 3 slots, these foreigners knew the Spirit Clan would not give them the slots. Finally, after discussions among those who rushed to the Extreme Spirit Martial Land, the Spirit Clan people finalized 3 slots. The first to fight was the one who initially issued the challenge to Yi Chun, from the Thunder-Eyed Wing Branch, Lei Yuan, who had reached the upper limits of Upper Immortal Divine Venerable combat power. The second participant was, like Yin Linger, from the Spirit Clan's Silver-Eyed Wing Branch, a powerhouse named Yin Meng whose realm was Upper Immortal Divine Venerable but had combat power reaching the one-star sovereign level. The last participant was from the Gray-Eyed Wing Branch, the same branch as Luo Chun, whom Yi Chun suppressed earlier, and was a genuine sovereign, a one-star sovereign, whose combat power was very close to the two-star sovereign level. The Spirit Clan chose these three to engage in sparring with Yi Chun, specifically in varied tiers. If Lei Yuan, with Upper Immortal Divine Venerable combat power, could defeat Yi Chun, there would be no need for the next two to take action. Of course, if the Upper Immortal Divine Venerable level wasn't enough, they would try the initial one-star sovereign combat power, and if that still wasn't enough, they would increase to the strongest combat power below the two-star sovereign that Yi Chun requested, the peak one-star sovereign combat power. Wow! Once the participants were decided, Yi Chun, the Spirit Clan people, and the foreigners watching the Extreme Spirit Martial Land all moved to a special battle site within the Extreme Spirit Barrier. This was a massive battle space specially crafted by the Spirit Clan's 9-star sovereign, sufficient for Yi Chun and others to use for battle. As soon as the three factions entered this battle space, Lei Yuan from the Thunder-Eyed Wing Branch, the first to battle Yi Chun, directly stepped forward. Everyone else retreated to the side. The central battle area now only had Yi Chun and Lei Yuan. Lei Yuan looked at Yi Chun and said, "Friend Zhongli, our Thunder-Eyed Wing Branch is different from other branches. Our strongest combat means lie within our physical bodies themselves, and we are extremely good at cultivating the divine body. Today, I will see you with my strongest divine body skills." Even though Lei Yuan was determined to compare skills with Yi Chun, as there was no enmity between them, he was very courteous to Yi Chun in his speech. Hearing Lei Yuan's words, Yi Chun also smiled. "Friend Lei Yuan, I've just completed training in a divine body skill, and I'm eager to test its power. Since your divine body skill is formidable, let's have a good sparring session. Please, friend Zhongli. Please, Lei Yuan, my fellow Taoist." The two exchanged polite words, but the moment the battle truly commenced, both were intently serious. Swish, swish, swish. First to transform was Lei Yuan of the Thunder-Eyed Wing Branch. As a unique purple water pattern shimmered between his brows, a set of purple armor shimmered into existence over his body. Simultaneously, Lei Yuan's form shifted, transforming into a gigantic purple lightning-colored rock, launching himself fiercely towards Yi Chun. This purple lightning-colored rock spanned several thousand feet in size. More frightening was the countless flickering thunder lights across its body, roaring with terrifying purple thunder power. Indeed, this was the combat true form of the Thunder-Eyed Wing Branch of the Extreme Spirit Clan. When Lei Yuan charged, Yi Chun's eyes brightened, yet he remained unshaken. Not to mention that Yi Chun's combat power had long surpassed the God King level and had reached the Sovereign level, making Lei Yuan no match for him. Even if Yi Chun hadn't reached the Sovereign level, he would still have been at the pinnacle of the Divine Venerable level, at the Upper Immortal Divine Venerable Extreme level, and definitely not weaker than Lei Yuan. Besides, Yi Chun had previously battled members of the Extreme Spirit Clan. Back in the Demon Tomb when he encountered Huyen Divine Master, he also fought the combat doll left behind by General Insha. Yi Chun had long been familiar with the true form combat methods of the Extreme Spirit Clan. Boom! 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 Seeing Lei Yuan charge, Yi Chun moved, with his entire body erupting in extraordinarily special divine light. Azure water pattern glow. The spectators of the Extreme Spirit Clan, watching Lei Yuan's true form combat, some who knew of Lei Yuan's methods, clenched their fists tightly. They knew that once Lei Yuan entered the fray, he immediately utilized his strongest divine body skill, the Nine Thunders Sky Bombarding Battle Body. Many people were eager to see how Yi Chun would respond. Yet, when the azure water pattern glow flashed over Yi Chun, many of the Extreme Spirit Clan members' eyes widened. Even among the foreign races, some shouted out in excitement. Even Lei Bo, the 6-star sovereign responsible for guarding the Extreme Spirit Martial Land, took a deep breath and said in shock, Eternal God Body? Water God Pattern. Indeed, the method Yi Chun prepared to battle Lei Yuan was precisely the Eternal God Body Water God Pattern he had just completed cultivating. Yi Chun had long completed the cultivation of the earth and wind divine patterns among the 5 great divine patterns of the Eternal God Body. This time, he didn't directly deploy the mightier wind divine pattern, but chose to first test the power of the newly trained water god pattern. Boom! As Yi Chun activated the Eternal God Body Water God pattern, countless towering feet of divine light surged up around him, flickering with the protective means of the Eternal God Body Water God pattern, the 1,000 water shields. From a distance, Yi Chun seemed encased layer upon layer, endlessly surrounded by azure water shields, which appeared capable of defending against any impact. On one side was Lei Yuan, with a body of flickering lightning energy charging mightily several thousand feet large. On the other was Yi Chun, whose body, though not as massive, emitted divine light no weaker. The next moment, the two immense figures collided thunderously, activating his true form and unleashing his strongest divine body skill, the 9 Thunders Sky Bombarding Battle Body. Lei Yuan recognized the origins of the Eternal God Body as soon as Yi Chun activated the Water God pattern. After all, the Eternal God Body is known throughout the universe as a highly difficult divine body for even sovereign power holders to cultivate successfully, ranking 3rd among the sovereign-level divine bodies. Because he recognized it, Lei Yuan's attack had no restraint. As he crashed towards Yi Chun, he unleashed the ultimate divine bombardment power of the 9 Thunders Sky Bombarding Battle Body, a full bombardment of 9 thunders. When the 9 thunders combined, the impact shattered one layer after another of the 1,000 water shields encasing Yi Chun, penetrating hundreds of feet deep. This scene caused the assembled audience to exclaim in shock. Meanwhile, Linger, who had been intently watching Yi Chun, turned pale with worry. The young girl knew of Yi Chun's power, but this time, Yi Chun had only mentioned using his divine body skills. She didn't know if he could suppress Lei Yuan's full force attack with just this one technique. However, in the next moment, Linger's tense face suddenly relaxed, for she observed that even though Lei Yuan shattered layer after layer of the 1,000 water shields surrounding Yi Chun, penetrating hundreds of feet deep, soon enough, more light from Yi Chun's divine body surged forth. This quickly restored layer upon layer of the 1,000 water shields. Lei Yuan barely had time to break through all of Yi Chun's water shields before being blasted away by the rapidly regenerating shields, sent flying tens of thousands of feet. Chapter 1023 Divine Fire versus Divine Water. The defensive technique, 1,000 water shields, of Yi Chun's Eternal God Body Water God pattern can deflect Lei Yuan, indicating that Yi Chun's Water God pattern combat power is not inferior to Lei Yuan's 9 Thunders Sky Bombarding Battle Body. When Lei Yuan was blown tens of thousands of feet away by Yi Chun, the people of the Extreme Spirit Clan erupted in amazement. And among those who have heard of the Eternal God Body's divine might, their eyes suddenly sparkled. Heavens, just relying on the defensive technique of the Eternal God Body's Water God pattern can withstand Lei Yuan's strongest attack from the 9 Thunders Sky Bombarding Battle Body. This Upper God King can likely unleash 50 to 60% of the Water God pattern's might. No wonder these people are shocked. After all, the Eternal God Body is an extraordinarily powerful divine body even for sovereigns. Even though it's extremely rare for anyone below the sovereign realm to cultivate it, it's definitely not easy to activate its full divine might. After all, unleashing its full divine power can truly contend with sovereign powers. Not to mention activating its full divine might, even activating a fraction of it is already considered impressive. And Yi Chun now directly activates 50 to 60% of the strongest divine might of the Water God pattern, ranked 3rd among the 5 great divine patterns of the Eternal God Body, which is certainly a shocking feat. What these people don't know is that Yi Chun has not only cultivated the Eternal God Body's Water God pattern but has also mastered the other 2 divine patterns, Earth Divine Pattern and Wind Divine Pattern. The Wind Divine Pattern is ranked higher than the Water God pattern among the 5 great divine patterns: Earth, Fire, Water, Wind, Chaos. Back when Yi Chun successfully cultivated the Wind Divine Pattern in the Heavenly God Mountain, he could only unleash a small portion of its might. Even with that, he was capable of battling the extreme combat power of upper immortal divine venerables. Now, Yi Chun has made qualitative leaps in his essence, chi, and spirit, especially after harnessing the starry origin power from the second star. His entire life's level has been elevated significantly. This elevation in life's level, even without directly applying it to divine power, greatly enhances Yi Chun's control over the divine body. Yi Chun is now capable of driving around 40% of the wind divine pattern's might, allowing him to attempt battling a one-star sovereign. And as for the water god pattern, which is somewhat weaker than the wind divine pattern, Yi Chun can naturally unleash even more might, reaching about 60% of its divine power. And about 60% of the water god pattern's divine power is enough for Yi Chun to completely suppress Lei Yuan's extreme combat power of upper immortal divine venerables. As everyone was amazed, Yi Chun, who had used the defensive technique Thousand Water Shields to deflect Lei Yuan, the divine light of the water god pattern flashed on him and transitioned from defense to attack. Yi Chun directly charged at Lei Yuan, who was deflected. At the same time, Yi Chun unleashed the eternal god body's water god pattern's attack technique, Black Origin Water Wave. Crash! 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 At the instant this attack technique was deployed, the divine pattern light on Yi Chun immediately transformed into black, as thousands of feet of black divine light surged around his body. In the divine light, as if heavy black water waves were undulating, these black water waves seemed to move with Yi Chun's divine body and annihilate everything. As Lei Yuan just stopped his retreating form, Yi Chun, who had activated the Black Origin Water Wave, had already charged to his front. Lei Yuan directly felt a massive shadow, like a black mountain peak, following Yi Chun's fierce strike, pressing down directly upon him.
Lei Yuan hurriedly dodged aside.
And Yi Chun's divine body attack technique strike directly hit the ground. A frightening thing occurred. Just this single strike, Yi Chun's divine body strength exploded, directly shattering the ground into a giant pit tens of thousands of feet in diameter. Even though this special space refined by a 9-star sovereign has incredible restorative ability, in the moment Yi Chun rose from the ground again to charge at Lei Yuan, the giant pit had already resumed its original form. Yet Yi Chun's beast-like divine body attack still sent chills down the spines of many present. Those in the arena with weaker combat power could sense that if they were to bear Yi Chun's divine body attack, they would likely be crushed into pulp, completely dead from this move. Everyone took a deep breath. When they raised their heads to look at Yi Chun again, their gaze towards him was entirely different. If earlier they had any doubts about Yi Chun's strength, now they all realized that this upper god king truly possesses the fabled ability to battle across realms. Even if not the rumored capability to completely cross into sovereign-level combat power, it certainly belongs to the true elites within the divine sovereign-level combat power. Bear in mind, the further one progresses, the more challenging it is to fight across realms. True Chi Realm, Spirit Sea Realm, Rotating Pill Realm, Heavenly Saint Realm, True God Realm, God King Realm, Divine Venerable Realm, Sovereign Realm. Within these realms, battling a realm higher from the Spirit Sea Realm to face a Heavenly Saint is rare, but not unheard of across countless divine kingdoms. But reaching the God King Realm, let alone battling a full realm higher into the Divine Venerable Realm and challenging sovereigns, even battling immortal Divine Venerables within the Divine Venerable Realm is largely non-existent across many divine kingdoms. Only powerful divine kingdoms like the True Spirit Divine Kingdom have such characters. Whereas a God King possessing sovereign-level combat power is truly a standout among the countless God Kings in this universe across divine kingdoms. In this universe, perhaps only in divine kingdom groups like the Moke Ancient Clan and the Netherworld Ancient Clan, which are ranked among the top in the countless divine kingdoms of this universe, can there be such a divine king. Now, witnessing with their own eyes a formidable divine king, who might not be weaker than a divine king from the top clans of this universe standing before them, how could the Spirit Clan members not be shaken in mind and spirit? Amidst the shock, in the sky above, the battle between Yi Chun and Lei Yuan had reached a critical moment. The two had exchanged hundreds of moves in an instant, and in the vast majority of cases, it was Lei Yuan who was oppressed by Yi Chun, frantically dodging, with few opportunities for direct confrontation between the two. The Spirit Clan members had already realized that Lei Yuan was no match for the Upper God King before them. As these people anticipated, after Yi Chun and Lei Yuan clashed for more than half an instant stick of time, Lei Yuan's evasive movement technique was completely seen through by Yi Chun, and Lei Yuan gradually struggled to withstand Yi Chen's repeated attacks. Finally, when Yi Chun utilized the Eternal God Body's Water God Pattern strike technique, Spiral Water Fury, with a fierce blow, he directly knocked Lei Yuan from the void, smashing him down to the ground, creating a massive crater with a radius of tens of thousands of feet. Then, Yi Chun pointed his finger, and countless Water God Pattern, Divine Pattern lights formed a giant sword measuring 10,000 feet long, extending from Yi Chen's hand in the void to Lei Yuan's neck on the ground, and Lei Yuan was completely powerless to evade. Defeat. This meant that if it were a life-and-death struggle, Yi Chun could have killed Lei Yuan, and since this was a sparring match, not meant to harm lives, it also signified that Yi Chun had outright defeated Lei Yuan. Lei Yuan, however, was a good man. Losing is losing, and he accepted it with poise. Lei Yuan looked towards Yi Chun, his gaze shaken, finally saying slowly, "I lost, Taoist friend Zhongli. I am sincerely convinced of my defeat at your hands." Wow. The outcome of the first battle, although many had anticipated it, still caused an uproar when it happened before their eyes. After all, many present knew of Lei Yuan's prowess. Now, the Upper God King before them had defeated Lei Yuan using only divine body skills, which clearly meant that this Upper God King hadn't even used his full strength, and his real combat power could only be stronger. Amidst the excitement, Lei Yuan stepped down, and for the second match, Yin Meng, possessing one-star sovereign realm combat power from the silver-eyed wing branch, stepped forward. Yin Meng was tall and burly, and as he looked at Yi Chun, his eyes brimmed with fighting spirit. He cupped his fists towards Yi Chun, saying, "Taoist friend Zhongli, take a moment to regulate your breath and recover your depleted divine body combat power. Then Yin Meng will fight you. In our battle, no matter who wins or loses, I will respect you, Taoist friend, for I possess one-star sovereign realm combat power only at the upper immortal divine venerable realm, whereas you, Taoist friend, are still an upper god king yet can fight me. Which means that purely in terms of realm difference, you are already stronger than me. Moreover," Yin Meng looked at Yin Linger not far off. "I am extremely grateful to you, Taoist friend, for saving the people of my branch." Even before the battle, Yin Meng was extremely courteous to Yi Chun. This was partly because Yi Chen's earlier displayed strength convinced him, and also because Yi Chun had rescued people from the silver-eyed wing branch. Seeing Yin Meng's courtesy, Yi Chun smiled as well. "Then please wait a moment, Taoist friend. I will recover my energy shortly and come to spar with you." After saying that, Yi Chun sat cross-legged in the void and began regulating his breath. Others thought Yi Chun needed some time to recover, but unexpectedly, before half an incense stick of time had passed, Yi Chun stood up and said to Yin Meng, "All right, Taoist friend, let's start the second sparring match." So soon. Upon hearing Yi Chen's words, Yin Meng, waiting on the side, was startled, and everyone else was buzzing with astonishment. It's important to note that although Yi Chun was completely dominating in his earlier battle with Lei Yuan, it was by no means not intense. Those present believed that Yi Chen's depletion must have been significant and that he couldn't possibly have recovered completely in such a short time. They didn't expect that Yi Chun had recovered so quickly. What they didn't know was that if it weren't for fear of scaring them, Yi Chun could have resumed fighting even faster, or even fought without needing recovery. After all, having only used the Water God pattern to fight for a moment earlier, there was hardly any depletion for someone like Yi Chun with such extraordinary signs of life. Amongst the shock, seeing that Yi Chen's aura was indeed at its peak state, Yin Meng didn't hesitate further. He took a step forward, coming into the void to face Yi Chun head-on. And when the battle between the two began, Yin Meng, unlike Lei Yuan earlier, did not directly transform into his combat true form, but remained in human form with feathered wings, holding a divine treasure resembling a water droplet in his hand. When Yin Meng activated the divine treasure resembling a water droplet, Yi Chun similarly did not use divine body skills again. He lightly stretched out his palm, and a cluster of divine fire directly appeared in his palm. Chapter 1024. Battle the Sovereign. Back in the Demon Tomb, when Yi Chun fought with the combat doll left by General Insha, Yi Chun knew that the Extreme Spirit Clan's Silver-Eyed Wing Branch was particularly skilled in using divine treasures to battle. Now facing the water droplet, shaped divine treasure wielded by Yin Meng, he surely planned to use a divine treasure to counter it after a brief thought. In the first battle, Yi Chun and Lei Yuan were divine body against divine body. In this second battle, Yi Chun and Yin Meng were divine treasure against divine treasure. The water droplet, shaped divine treasure in Yin Meng's hand, was indeed no ordinary object. It was a polar sky level, divine water. Although not like the polar sky level, divine fire, where celestial beings used supreme divine skills to create the extreme heaven divine fire list, recording numerous powerful divine fires in the universe, the polar sky level, divine water, did not have an extreme heaven divine water list. However, something that could be called polar sky level divine water was still incomparable to ordinary divine treasures. This polar sky level divine water in Yin Meng's hand was a marvelous object obtained from the Sea of Taboo by a sovereign of the Silver-Eyed Wing Branch, later given to Yin Meng by a stroke of luck. After Yin Meng summoned this water droplet divine treasure, the combat power he released indeed reached an astounding 1-star sovereign level. 1-star sovereign level, although the weakest among sovereign levels, still it is sovereign level. When this combat power was unleashed, all eyes focused on Yi Chun. Everyone wanted to see if this upper god king before them truly had the combat power at the sovereign level to match Yin Meng. However, the result of Yi Chun's battle with Yin Meng shocked countless people. At first, the spectators thought Yi Chun would either lose or be entangled with Yin Meng for a long time. But unexpectedly, Yi Chun completely defeated Yin Meng in less than 100 breaths. This speed was even faster than when Yi Chun defeated Lei Yuan in the first match. The scene of Yi Chun defeating Lei Yuan further amazed the Extreme Spirit Clan members and foreign race individuals in the audience. They saw Yi Chun simultaneously unleash 3 kinds of polar sky level divine fire to fight Yin Meng. One must know, even discovering and successfully obtaining just one kind of polar sky level divine fire is not easy by any means. Yi Chun had actually gathered 3 types of polar sky level divine fire in the God King realm, which truly astonished everyone. What these people did not know was that Yi Chun obtained not merely 3 types of polar sky level divine fire during his recent journey through the ancient forbidden grounds. Counting the ones he acquired himself and those he retrieved from Blood-Flying Yen and Blood Ling Chan after defeating them, he had as many as 8. Among them was a cluster Yi Chun hadn't even used, and it ranked second on the Extreme Heaven Divine Fire list, the Heavenly Forbidden Flame. If Yi Chun were to bring out the Heavenly Forbidden Flame, its ranking of second on the Extreme Heaven Divine Fire list would definitely astonish the entire Extreme Spirit Clan. Of course, Yi Chun hadn't fully understood the Heavenly Forbidden Flame yet, so he wouldn't bring it out. He only utilized 3 kinds of polar sky level divine fire, including the blue extreme ice flame, to directly defeat Yin Meng under the assistance of Yi Chun's immense Tai divine power and the control of the blue divine soul. The second battle match again ended with Yi Chun's victory. At this point, all of the Extreme Spirit Clan members present no longer had any doubts about Yi Chun's combat power. This time, they had witnessed with their own eyes an upper god king exhibiting sovereign-level combat power. Among the crowd, Yin Linger looked at Yi Chun with eyes full of excitement. Although Yi Chun defeated a member of the Silver-Eyed Wing Branch, the match was merely a friendly competition that caused no harm, and Yi Chun's demonstration of absolute strength made Yin Linger believe that it wouldn't be long before her brother Yi Chun's fame would spread throughout the entire Extreme Spirit Clan. Being someone whose life Yi Chun saved, thus receiving a tremendous debt of gratitude, Yin Linger naturally hoped that Yi Chun's quest to find Senior Insha would succeed as quickly as possible, and hoped for Yi Chun's renown to be acknowledged by the clan's influential figures promptly. There's still the last match. Brother Yi Chun will fight with Sovereign Wumong from the Gray-Eyed Wing Branch. The Gray-Eyed Wing Branch and my Silver-Eyed Wing Branch have never gotten along, and since Brother Yi-chun captured Luo-chan to save me, even though Luo-chan was at fault first, Sovereign Wumong, as sovereign of the gray-eyed wing branch, might also find Brother Yi-chun displeasing. It's said that although Sovereign Wumong is a 1-star sovereign, his combat power is incredibly close to 2-star sovereign level, only just needing a chance to break through to 2-star sovereign power. If Brother Yi-chun fights Sovereign Wumong without a definite 2-star sovereign power, it might indeed be a real fierce battle. Thinking of the upcoming final battle, a trace of worry also appeared in Yin Linger's beautiful eyes. Though Yi-chun defeated Yin Meng, who had 1-star sovereign combat power, Yin Meng was not truly a sovereign, with power only just reaching the initial stage of 1-star sovereign, of course not comparable to the Sovereign Wumong taking the stage next. At this moment, the battle space suddenly fell silent. The others also knew that the coming fight was indeed the main event. Even Yi-chun, standing in the void, became extremely solemn in mind and spirit. Although Yi-chun was confident in his combat power, he had not truly fought against a sovereign before. Of course, he wouldn't boast of certain victory before the battle even began. In the midst of the silence, the third person to challenge Yi-chun, Sovereign Wumong of the gray-eyed wing branch, also stepped forward directly. This Sovereign Wumong was an extremely lean, middle-aged man. The faint gray water pattern between his brows and the pair of extraordinary gray wings on his back were remarkably similar to those of Luo Chen, whom Yi-chun had encountered before. As someone who had stepped into the sovereign realm, Sovereign Wumong truly lived up to his reputation. As soon as he appeared, without making any visible moves, he was already facing Yi-chun in the void. Then, with a gentle flick of his great sleeve, a terrifying giant serpent's void shadow, several thousand zhang in size, appeared behind him. This serpent shadow immediately formed an oppressive force that shook heaven and earth. When the oppressive force emanated, the other sovereigns present remained unaffected. But the observers below the sovereign rank were all visibly shaken. These people could feel that even though Sovereign Wumong's pressure wasn't directed at them, their mind and spirit were still uncontrollably agitated. The pressure of a sovereign. This is the true pressure that only a sovereign can exert. Just standing on the sidelines made their hearts race uncontrollably, and the people present couldn't help but look towards Yi-chun, who stood opposite Sovereign Wumong in the void. These spectators knew that the upper god king opposite Sovereign Wumong was the one truly bearing the full weight of the sovereign pressure. They wanted to see how this upper god king, who had shown divine marvel in the previous 2 rounds of battle, would fare in the face of true sovereign pressure. Upon observation, they noticed that Yi-chun was entirely different from how he was when battling Lei Yuan and Yin Meng earlier. If the upper god king initially merely displayed exceptional combat power, now the observers felt that the upper god king standing before them no longer seemed like a god king. He seemed to have transformed into a sovereign himself. Even his body began to emit a purple-golden glow that no one had ever seen before. To the extreme Spirit Clan spectators and other foreign race onlookers, this upper god king did not seem any less imposing than Sovereign Wumong. It seemed as if this moment was the true demonstration of the upper god king's trump card. Their perception was not wrong. Facing the true sovereign realm figure, Sovereign Wumong, Yi-chun finally revealed his most formidable technique, the Starry Origin Power Technique. The Starry Origin Power Technique originated from the Star's Tower, a power from the ZG Star-Lord. When Yi-chun unleashed this power at the Heavenly God Mountain and ancient forbidden grounds, it directly caught the attention of the Divine Master and even that stunningly unparalleled female universe Great Emperor. At this moment, though those present could not recognize this power, they could sense its extraordinary nature. In the void, facing Yi-chun directly, Sovereign Wumong's eyes also flickered with astonishment. As a sovereign, he naturally perceived the sense of crisis more acutely. Sovereign Wumong could feel that the power of this god king before him definitely surpassed his sovereign-level divine power. It was only because the god king's realm was too weak to fully wield all the might of this power that it seemed like this now. This feeling made Sovereign Wumong's fighting spirit surge wildly. As a sovereign of the gray-eyed wing branch, he had heard about the incident where Luo-chan was captured by this god king. Even though Sovereign Wumong despised Luo Chen's attempt to harm Yin Linger, Yi Chun had nonetheless tarnished the gray-eyed wing branch's reputation. So Sovereign Wumong wanted to teach Yi Chun a lesson. Of course, he only intended to teach him a lesson and wouldn't really harm Yi Chun. After all, the gray-eyed wing branch was indeed at fault here. Now, he felt inferior to the upper god king before him, which was hard for Sovereign Wumong to accept, and he desired a true and satisfying battle. Swish. With that thought, Sovereign Wumong did not hesitate any longer. His divine eye glanced at Yi Chun, and he directly said, "Let's begin the battle." Yi Chun looked at Sovereign Wumong, his eyes burning with fighting spirit as well. "Then let's begin the battle." Yi Chun also wanted to have a good fight with Sovereign Wumong of the Sovereign Realm. After the two exchanged a fist salute before the battle, in the next moment, their combat power was not merely a pressure but fully unleashed. At the moment the battle began, Sovereign Wumong's whole body shot into the massive serpent's void shadow behind him, several thousand zhong in size. A shocking event occurred. This enormous serpent's void shadow slowly solidified the instant Sovereign Wumong shot into it, and it underwent a transformation, becoming a strange flying serpent with wings. It seemed as if it had merged with the combat true form of the gray-eyed wing branch and the serpent. The mutated flying serpent suddenly roared angrily at the sky. Then, with a glance from its serpent eyes at Yi Chun, two electric-like beams of killing force directly shot out from the serpent's eyes, blasting toward Yi Chun. Chapter 1025-. The Change of the Divine Treasure. The lethal beams shot from the eyes of the enormous flying giant serpent, stretching thousands of meters, were unbelievably fast. These were truly sovereign-level speeds, far surpassing the sovereign divine skills that Yin Meng previously achieved with the help of a divine treasure. Moreover, these lethal beams were incredibly large, like two gigantic bolts of extreme lightning, slicing through the void, aiming at Yi Chun, who appeared as tiny as an ant. Seeing the next moment, Yi Chun's figure about to be completely engulfed in the lethal lightning, the purple-gold aura on Yi Chun started to flare wildly. This purple-gold aura instantly formed a light shield hundreds of meters large, floating around Yi Chun. Boom! 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 Next, a dazzling spectacle unfolded. The two lethal beams shot from the eyes of Sovereign Wumong, transformed into a giant flying serpent, all struck the purple-gold light shield. This scene of beams striking the shield lasted for a dozen breaths. The spectators could clearly hear the thunderous sound of collision between beam and shield. To the amazement of the spectators, even though the lethal beams from the flying serpent continued for a dozen breaths, they couldn't shake Yi Chun's purple-gold shield the slightest. In the next moment, Sovereign Wumong, transformed into the serpent, seemingly realized the ineffectiveness of the lethal beams. He turned his form, and the enormous serpent mouth opened wide, forming a gigantic mouth, aiming to engulf the shield and Yi Chun within it. Even knowing it would be engulfed, given the power of the purple-gold starry origin, the flying serpent could not obliterate the shield at all. But Yi Chun, engaged in battle with Sovereign Wumong, certainly didn't want to be swallowed just like that. Yi Chun wanted to fight head-on and truly defeat this one-star sovereign. Swish! 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 The serpent's devouring speed was extremely fast, but Yi Chun's speed was even faster. Yi Chun squeezed a spell, and his body vanished in the void, appearing moments later thousands of meters away in another part of the void. Evasive from the serpent's devouring, Yi Chun wouldn't stay passive. He squeezed another spell, while his body still floated in the void, the purple-gold starry origin forming a gigantic purple-gold hand, grasping at the giant serpent in the void. Yi Chun was directly with the Dharma embodiment transformed from starry origin power, fighting Sovereign Wumong. This gigantic purple-gold hand was larger than the serpent formed by Sovereign Wumong. Yet despite its size, its speed was not slow at all, even faster than Sovereign Wumong's serpent mouth devouring speed. A surprise to the Spirit Clan and foreign race spectators occurred. Yi Chun's grab actually caught the serpent formed by Sovereign Wumong. Heavens! This astonishing battle of Dharma embodiment and incarnation shocked everyone below the sovereign realm. No one anticipated that not gaining an advantage over Yi Chun, Yi Chun instead suppressed Sovereign Wumong. Sovereign Wumong was captured. Can he escape the grasp? Or will he be directly defeated? Everyone focused tightly on the serpent formed by Sovereign Wumong held by the giant hand. Sovereign Wumong's heart was racing, equally shocked by Yi Chen's rapid counterattack. Nevertheless, Sovereign Wumong, as a person who stepped into the sovereign realm, of course, didn't only have one serpent attack. Just as Yi Chen caught him with the purple gold hand, in another part of the void thousands of meters away, another shadow of Sovereign Wumong appeared. This shadow solidified instantly, while the serpent caught in the purple gold hand vanished simultaneously. Witnessing this divine skill, even the six-star Sovereign Lei Bo nodded. External incarnation divine skill. Wumong is remarkable, having truly understood this skill. External incarnation, a skill that forms another body from divine soul's shadow, merging anywhere in the void, escaping danger by appearing where the external incarnation is. Wumong, after understanding this skill, unless the upper god king Zhongli can locate Wumong's external incarnation, it's impossible to completely capture Wumong. Lei Bo, with his six-star sovereign realm, could see through all this, but others with weaker realms couldn't understand. They only felt amazed by the means and unparalleled wonder seeing Wumong appearing swiftly elsewhere. Yi Chen, witnessing Sovereign Wumong escape, his eyes flashed with insight. External incarnation? Yi Chen had heard of such sovereign-level divine skills. Do you think with your external incarnation, I can't completely capture you? Swish. Yi Chen, without hesitation, pinched the spell in his hand, and the purple gold starry origin power formed another sky-shattering giant palm, once again grabbing towards Sovereign Wumong's location. At the same time, in a place invisible to others, Yi Chen directly extended his entire blue divine soul probing power, enveloping an area of hundreds of thousands of meters around. At this moment, seeing Yi Chen grabbing again, Sovereign Wumong's eyes turned cold. Do you think I can be captured by you again? Sovereign Wumong instantly flickered, using the divine skill of external incarnation to appear in another location. While dodging Yi Chen's grasp, Sovereign Wumong took out a divine treasure at the same moment. However, before Sovereign Wumong could activate this divine treasure, he heard shocked exclamations from the observing crowd below. Following that, Sovereign Wumong saw another purple gold giant palm grabbing at the location of his newly appeared external incarnation. Sovereign Wumong also saw that the purple gold giant palm aimed at his previous position had not dissipated yet. Sovereign Wumong was momentarily stunned. Could it be that this upper god king he was fighting already knew where he would land and had prepared a second attack on him? Thinking of this, Sovereign Wumong couldn't drive his divine treasure anymore. He could only use the external incarnation to flicker to another location of the divine soul's shadow again. But just as he avoided there, a third purple gold giant palm was already grabbing at him. For a moment, the entire battle void formed a jaw-dropping scene. One could see Sovereign Wumong's figure flickering continuously in midair, while countless purple gold giant palms also appeared endlessly in the sky, all grabbing towards the flickering Sovereign Wumong. This scene seemed as if no matter how Sovereign Wumong evaded, he couldn't escape Yi Chen's purple gold giant palms. Sovereign Wumong could only flee desperately. This situation greatly shocked Sovereign Wumong. He knew that if this continued, his only outcome was to be captured by the upper god king in front of him. No. I haven't even had the chance to use my divine treasure, yet I'm being forced to flee like this. I'm a sovereign. Feeling immensely humiliated, a decisive thought seemed to flash in Sovereign Wumong's mind and spirit. He unexpectedly stopped dodging, allowing the sky-shattering giant palm driven by Yi Chen to capture him in one grasp. However, the moment Yi Chen captured him, Sovereign Wumong unexpectedly closed his eyes, and the faint gray watermark between his eyebrows began to flash violently. Seeing Sovereign Wumong's action, the observing crowd was completely bewildered. What's happening? Even Yi Chen noticed something amiss. He sensed Sovereign Wumong's determination to fight for his life, but Yi Chen didn't know what exactly Sovereign Wumong intended to do in his desperate struggle. Yi Chen could only drive the sky-shattering giant palm, fiercely squeezing towards Sovereign Wumong in his grip. As long as he crushed Wumong's protective divine light, he could defeat Wumong. Yi Chun wouldn't kill Sovereign Wumong. Merely defeating him would suffice. At this moment, only the 6-star Sovereign Lei Bo seemed to notice some signs. Sovereign Lei Bo's eyes suddenly widened, blurting out, "Could it be that Wumong intends to forcibly activate the second kind of divine might of that treasure?" But it said he hadn't comprehended that second kind of divine might. Just as Lei Bo said this, as Yi Chun drove the sky-shattering giant palm fiercely towards the protective divine light of Sovereign Wumong, the layers of divine light outside Wumong shattered one by one, seemingly unable to hold on. But in the next moment, the space between Wumong's eyebrows erupted with dazzling divine light. Amid the dazzling divine light, the divine treasure Sovereign Wumong had long been holding in his hand also began to emit radiant divine light. This divine treasure unexpectedly formed a grayish powerful shockwave in an instant. With a buzz, sound it suddenly shook out from Sovereign Wumong's palm. The powerful shockwave then directly shattered layers of the giant power grasp driven by Yi Chun, which held Sovereign Wumong. In the end, the purple-gold giant palm's divine power dissipated, flying back towards Yi Chun. And upon looking at Sovereign Wumong's palm, one could see that the divine treasure previously emitting silver light had turned into a grayish hue. This divine treasure flickered to appear in front of Sovereign Wumong, revealing its true form. It was surprisingly a wedge-shaped bone spur-like divine treasure. Chapter 1026 Admit Defeat. The bone spur-shaped divine treasure shattered the violet gold giant palm, saving Sovereign Wumong, revealing its true form. For a moment, all eyes were fixed on the bone spur divine treasure in front of Sovereign Wumong. This bone spur divine treasure, about half a zhang long, seemed like a piece of bone taken from some fierce beast. Moreover, atop the bone spur, 2 divine rings flickered, exuding an aura of profound mystery. This is. People from the gray-eyed wing branch stared intently at this bone spur divine treasure, as if they suddenly remembered something. Meanwhile, several sovereigns who knew the origin of the bone spur divine treasure couldn't help but exclaim, "This divine treasure is the bone spur of the Tianjua divine beast." Long ago, the gray-eyed wing branch hunted down a 5-star sovereign-level Tianjua divine beast in the Sea of Taboo, obtaining a total of 72 bone spurs. Among them, the sovereign Wu Meng received 3 bone spurs directly. He rewarded the smallest bone spur to his disciple Wumong, which is the bone spur now in the hands of Sovereign Wumong. The Tianjua divine beast is a renowned divine beast in the Sea of Taboo, and even though it has fallen, the bone spurs on its body still retain the origin divine power of heaven and earth. Even though the bone spur in the hands of Sovereign Wumong is relatively weaker among the 72 bone spurs, it's rumored that if all the divine might on it is fully activated, it can absolutely reach the combat strength of a 4-star sovereign. Reportedly, Sovereign Wu Meng once refined for divine rings on this bone spur, and activating each ring can unleash a divine might at the sovereign level. It was said that in the past, Sovereign Wumong could only activate 1 divine ring, releasing a 1-star sovereign-level divine might from this divine treasure. But now, with 2 rings lit, could it be that Sovereign Wumong had new insights from the recent battle, having realized this divine treasure's second divine might? When these few sovereigns said this, many people gasped. A second divine might? According to what these sovereigns said earlier, activating each divine ring can unleash a divine might at the sovereign level. Now, with 2 rings activated, doesn't that suggest the second divine might has reached the level of a 2-star sovereign? One must know that previously, no matter how strong Sovereign Wumong was, he was only at the pinnacle of 1-star sovereign level. The gap between a pinnacle 1-star sovereign level and a 2-star sovereign is a chasm-like disparity. Now, with Sovereign Wumong suddenly possessing 2-star sovereign divine might techniques, this means Sovereign Wumong has surpassed Yi Chun's initial pre-battle requirements. Previously, Yi Chun explicitly stated that he would only accept challenges below the combat strength of a 2-star sovereign. Thinking of this, Everyone's eyes shifted to the void where Sovereign Wumong and Yichun stood. They wanted to see if Sovereign Wumong would still want to battle this Upper God King. Moreover, they wanted to see if this Upper God King, who had been suppressing Sovereign Wumong into constant evasion at the one-star sovereign level, would still dare to fight in the face of Sovereign Wumong's sudden surge in combat power. Among the onlookers, Linger also worriedly gazed at Yichun with her beautiful eyes. Linger didn't expect such a change would occur in the final battle. Her fists quietly tightened. She wanted to warn Yichun, but was afraid of disturbing him during the fight. Beads of sweat formed on Linger's tense and lovely face. At this moment, with countless eyes on the void, Sovereign Wumong was the first to speak. Sovereign Wumong was beyond excited at this moment. He hadn't expected that while being oppressed by Yichun, at the very instant of his decisive determination, he would have a special insight with the divine treasure in his hand. This insight completely activated the second type of divine might that had troubled him for so long. This allowed him to suddenly grasp a stronger second divine might of the divine treasure in his hand. One must know, if he had normally gained this insight, it might have taken years, even decades, to succeed. Now, having suddenly succeeded in gaining insight into the second-tier divine might equivalent to a 2-star sovereign level, how could he not be extremely excited? Moreover, the little bit of hostility he harbored towards Yichun, due to Luo-chan being captured, changed to immense gratitude. Sovereign Wumong knew that if Yichun hadn't exerted such immense pressure on him, he would never have had the breakthrough insight during the battle. At this point, Sovereign Wumong didn't even care about the outcome of the sparring anymore. This breakthrough was already his greatest gain from coming to the extreme spirit martial land. Thus, Sovereign Wumong directly spoke to Yichun, "Friend Jiangli, as you can see, the divine treasure in my hand has undergone a new transformation. At this point, I can now wield the combat strength of a 2-star sovereign. According to the rule you mentioned earlier, I have already exceeded the sparring requirements. If you don't wish to continue, I can stop right here." Buzz. The words of Sovereign Wumong caused a buzz among the onlookers below. The viewers, though understanding that Sovereign Wumong's insightful breakthrough during the battle indeed diverged from the pre-match agreement, felt immensely regretful about the fight stopping midway. After all, they hadn't yet seen the true limits of this Upper God King in front of them. Amidst the buzz, many from the Extreme Spirit Clan also thought Yichun would leave it at that. But to their surprise, Yichun in the void directly responded, "Since the battle isn't over, there's no need to stop halfway. A 2-star sovereign level divine might and treasure? Then let me take a look at the 2-star sovereign level divine might." Yichun still had one more powerful technique that he hadn't yet used. Originally, he didn't intend to use it. However, with the sudden transformation of Sovereign Wumong's divine treasure, Yichun now wanted to try out that technique he had not truly tested in real combat yet. Yichun also wanted to see if that technique, initially estimated to contend with 2-star sovereign level, could indeed compete against the combat strength at the 2-star sovereign level. Yichun's words floated in the void, and the entire battle space instantly became silent. The spectators hadn't expected that this Upper God King, facing the strengthened combat power of Sovereign Wumong, would still choose to continue the battle. Moreover, looking at his demeanor, it seemed as if Sovereign Wumong's enhanced combat power posed no threat to him. This made the hearts of the spectators leap wildly. Could it be that this Upper God King's combat power had already reached the level of a 2-star sovereign? Boom! 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 In the void, upon hearing Yichun's intention to continue fighting, Sovereign Wumong was momentarily stunned. But then, he looked at Yichun with shining eyes. Since Yichun agreed to continue the battle, Sovereign Wumong was naturally willing as well. He also wanted to test the power of the second divine might of Bone Spur he had just comprehended. Good, good, good. Sovereign Wumong nodded deeply toward Yichun. Friend, your choice to continue fighting, regardless of who wins or loses, your magnanimity will absolutely earn Wumong's admiration. You can be said to be the most magnanimous God King I've ever seen. In our entire, true spirit divine kingdom, There is definitely no god king who can compare to you. Since you choose to fight, let's have a thoroughly exhilarating battle. Swish, swish, swish. While Sovereign Wumong spoke, he swung the bone spur in his hand, and the divine power surging from the bone spur instantly enveloped Sovereign Wumong, making him go gray with divine light. Meanwhile, Yi Chun continued to flash with purple gold light, channeling the starry origin power into his body. The next moment, the two sides clashed once again. Earlier, whether Sovereign Wumong transformed into a giant serpent or used the external incarnation technique, he was suppressed by Yi Chun infused with purple gold starry origin power. But this time, with the enhancement of divine treasure divine might, Sovereign Wumong indeed saw a significant increase in power, and he was able to contend with Yi Chun's purple gold starry origin power, with both sides advancing and retreating mutually. Within a few dozen breaths, Yi Chun and Sovereign Wumong had already exchanged more than 100 moves. Each time they struck at each other, their attacks created void rifts stretching tens of thousands of feet in the void. And when the force of their battle transmitted to the ground, it created vast pits tens of thousands of feet across. Were it not for the battle space being crafted by a 9-star sovereign, possessing extreme recuperative ability, this space might already be in ruins even if not completely destroyed. The breathtaking battle between Sovereign Wumong and Yi Chun stirred the blood of the onlookers below. This was a battle truly at the level of a 2-star sovereign. The spectators never expected that even after Sovereign Wumong had a breakthrough in understanding his divine treasure, further elevating his combat power, he still could not suppress that upper god king. When they saw the fight tearing and churning the space and ground for millions of feet, the spectators held their breath. They knew, in this situation, whoever had further moves would likely win this final battle. At this point, Sovereign Wumong had no further moves left. Although he had other techniques, none of them reached the strength of his 2-star sovereign-level divine treasure technique. Sovereign Wumong was now without trump cards. But Yi Chun had not reached his limit yet. Yi Chun still had cards to play. Therefore, Yi Chun had a greater chance of victory. Boom! Just as the battle reached a stalemate, all the spectators saw the upper god king they were watching suddenly released an ominous divine light from his body. Pale golden divine light. This pale golden divine light unexpectedly merged swiftly with the existing purple gold divine light on his body. In an instant, the aura of this upper god king underwent a new enhancement. Seeing this second divine light, even Lei Bo, the 6-star sovereign watching from a distance, was shocked. He hadn't anticipated that after Yi Chun used the purple gold divine light power, which even amazed him, Yi Chun actually wielded a second pale golden divine light power. Sovereign Lei Bo naturally did not know that the purple gold divine light Yi Chun used was merely the starry origin power of the 2nd star. Before this starry origin power, Yi Chun could already wield the pale golden starry origin power of the 1st star. Now, at the final juncture of the battle, Yi Chun finally unleashed both starry origin powers. Boom! 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 With both starry origin powers simultaneously reinforced, the divine light flashing on Yi Chun was dazzling to the extreme. He instantly executed the origin/3rd form. He comprehended to wield the 2 starry origin powers. Wow! 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 Just seeing divine power rolling in the void, endless sword light surged within a giant hand that towered to the sky, brimming with purple gold and pale golden hues. It was even more formidable than any purple gold giant hand Yi Chun had previously deployed. Especially the endless sword light erupting from the giant hand. It seemed almost capable of slicing through everything. As this power swept towards Sovereign Wumong immediately felt that his newly comprehended second divine might bone spur, divine treasure definitely couldn't withstand this final terrifying attack. Sovereign Wumong was even worried whether his bone spur, divine treasure would be damaged while fending off this move. Thinking to this point, facing the endless sword light erupting from the towering giant hand, Sovereign Wumong retreated explosively backward, while shouting toward Yi Chun, "Friend, I concede." Chapter 1027- Stars in the Extreme Spirit Sea. Fellow Taoist, I surrender. The loud shout of Sovereign Wumong drifted through the void, reaching the ears of Yi-chan, and also those of the innumerable members of the Extreme Spirit Clan and the foreign race spectators below. Surrender! In the void, Yi-chan gently nodded. With a flick of his finger, the terrifying purple gold and light gold lethal move aimed at Sovereign Wumong was directly withdrawn. The two divine lights of mystical purple gold and light gold that surrounded Yi-chan also retracted back into his body. Then, Yi-chan smiled at Sovereign Wumong, and the two who had ended the battle walked down from the void heaven. At this time, the two sides of the battle were calm, but the spectators below were completely in a frenzy. The spectators did not expect that the last skirmish of the three matches would end with this outcome. Even though Sovereign Wumong had elevated his combat power to the 2-star sovereign level during the battle, he was ultimately suppressed and forced to surrender. And they had doubted the strength of this Upper God King before the match, yet he was even able to defeat Sovereign Wumong with 2-star sovereign level combat power. The spectators, whether they were from the Extreme Spirit Clan or those foreign contenders who came to participate in the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection, were both excited and full of respect at this moment. They were excited because they had the rare chance to witness an Upper God King completely surpass the Divine Venerable Realm, entering the sovereign level combat power, and this was the 2-star sovereign level. This kind of scene is something others might never witness in their lifetime. And their respect, of course, was directed towards Yi-chan, the central figure of this battle. An Upper God King, who could surpass the 3 sub-realms of Earth Divine Venerable, Heavenly Divine Venerable, and Immortal Divine Venerable, stepping into the combat power of the Sovereign Realm. This naturally garnered respect from everyone present. Even some sovereigns present could not achieve such a level of combat power crossing when they were at the God King realm. Amidst the fervor, the viewing area below was filled with noisy discussions. At this moment, no one was more excited than Linger in the crowd. The young girl's beautiful eyes were shining brightly. He won. Yi-chan won all 3 skirmish battles. He defeated Lei Yuan of the Thunder-Eyed Wing Branch, our elder Meng of the Silver-Eyed Wing Branch, and even Sovereign Wumong with 2-star sovereign-level combat power of the Gray-Eyed Wing Branch. Now, I'm afraid Yi-chan's name will not only be known to a few people in the clan for saving me. Now, I'm afraid all major branches in the clan will know Yi-chan. After all, an Upper God King possessing sovereign-level combat power and proven through real battle. This is definitely an event that will attract the attention of the entire Extreme Spirit Clan. In the midst of Linger's excitement, Yi-chan, who had walked down from the void, moved beside her. Just as Linger predicted, after Yi-chan finished the skirmish with the 3 members of the Extreme Spirit Clan, the discussions and astonishment about these 3 battles began to spread across the 7 branches of the Extreme Spirit Sea, as the clan members returned from the Extreme Spirit Martial Land to the Extreme Spirit Sea. Gradually, almost all martial artists of the 7 branches of the Extreme Spirit Sea knew a miraculous Upper God King had arrived in the Extreme Spirit Clan to participate in the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection. And at this time, the Sovereign Realm big figures remaining in the Extreme Spirit Clan knew more than the ordinary clan members. These Sovereign Realm big figures had learned from the words passed by Linger for Yi-chan that this Upper God King, who saved Linger, came to the Extreme Spirit Sea to seek an audience with the old sovereigns who had seen Sovereign Insha back then to ask some questions. Extreme Spirit Sea, the domain where the people of the Extreme Spirit Clan lived. This ocean was facing the Sea of Taboo, across the Extreme Spirit Light Curtain. If Yi-chan could see the whole Extreme Spirit Sea, and the scene of the Extreme Spirit Clan living within it, he would surely be astounded. The Extreme Spirit Sea was completely different from the Sea of Taboo Yi-chan had traversed. Sea of Taboo is a special territory of immense size, covering a large area in the southern end of the true Spirit Divine Kingdom, filled with terrifying divine beasts, fiend beasts, numerous ancient relics, and cave mansions, with nothing else besides. Just the 8 blazing suns hanging high over the Sea of Taboo seem a bit mysterious. However, the Extreme Spirit Sea is entirely different from the Sea of Taboo. The Extreme Spirit Sea, more than 10 times larger than the Sea of Taboo, contained countless spherical stars inside. Some were under the control of the 7 branches of the Extreme Spirit Clan, and others were mysterious territories governed by the Extreme Spirit Clan. Countless stars were hidden within the ocean. One can imagine how vast and grand this Extreme Spirit Sea is, and these spherical stars submerged by the seawater, under the continuous pressure of the seawater and the constant changes of heaven and earth, underwent mysterious transformations, forming a true star-filled world within the waters of the Extreme Spirit Sea. Rumor has it that the Extreme Spirit Sea, this vast ocean, originally did not exist, and within the territory of the Extreme Spirit Sea were once countless normal stars. But one unknown day, a torrent of seawater surged from the star domain, inundating these countless stars within it. Finally, this created the Extreme Spirit Sea, floating amidst the starry sky. And after the formation of the Extreme Spirit Sea, only then did the people of the Extreme Spirit Clan enter the ocean, discovering innumerable stars hidden within it, eventually settling on the many stars deep in the ocean. Of course, all of this dates back to an immensely remote era, and even the legend of the origin of the Extreme Spirit Sea is but sparsely recorded in the ancient texts of the Extreme Spirit Clan. After countless ages of development, the present Extreme Spirit Clan has completely adapted to life within the ocean's stellar world. Ancient Water Planet is a renowned star within the Extreme Spirit Sea. This star serves as the central meeting place for the 7 branches of the Extreme Spirit Clan. At this moment, within the council hall of the ancient water planet, 5 sovereigns are gathered in conversation. Among them, 4 are 8-star sovereigns, while 1 is a 9-star sovereign. At this moment, the 9-star sovereign named Haluan speaks to the other 4 sovereigns. Now, except for the sovereigns tasked with guarding each branch, the remaining sovereigns have customarily gone to the Hautian ancient stream for training. So during this phase, clan matters fall to us. I summoned everyone this time to discuss an important issue with you, esteemed friends. Haluan's sovereign had just finished speaking when another 8-star sovereign directly said, "Did Haluan summon us here to discuss the matter of the upper god king Zhongli, who suddenly came to our clan? Lately, nothing major has occurred in the Extreme Spirit Clan. The only event that stirred clan discussions was Yi Chun defeating 3 strong members of the Extreme Spirit Clan. Thus, this 8-star sovereign immediately thought of this matter." Hearing the words of this 8-star sovereign, Haluan's sovereign nodded and said, "Indeed, it is about that Zhongli. At that time I also heard Yin Fong mention that this person saved Yin Linger of the Silver-Eyed Wing branch. Furthermore, Yin Linger asked Yin Fong to report to the clan, saying that the Upper God King wanted to meet some of the elder sovereigns of our clan to inquire about our sovereign Insha from tens of thousands of years ago. Those elder sovereigns have all gone to Hautian Ancient Stream for training and are not in the clan. Moreover, how could we casually discuss the matters of sovereign Insha with outsiders? Therefore, when I first heard the news, I didn't pay much attention and told Yin Fong not to worry about it for now." As the 9-star sovereign Haluan said this, Sovereign Yin Fong from the Silver-Eyed Wing branch, also present, nodded and said, "I indeed mentioned this to Haluan before. So, has Haluan now changed his mind?" Haluan's sovereign nodded. "Previously we could ignore that upper god king, but now we can no longer afford to ignore him. Look here." Swish. With that, Haluan's sovereign waved his arm, and a divine light appeared in the void of the great hall. As soon as the divine light appeared, sounds of combat emanated from it. Looking into the divine light, one could see that it displayed the scene of Yi Chun sparring with 3 members of the Extreme Spirit Clan. Haluan's sovereign, staring at the scene within the divine light, explained to the other 4 sovereigns. This reflective divine light was reported to me by the 6-star sovereign Lei Bo, who is responsible for the Extreme Spirit Martial Land. When the Upper God King fought with our clan's 3 members, Lei Bo was present and specifically recorded the battle situation of that Upper God King. While Haluan's sovereign spoke, the other 4 sovereigns couldn't help but look at the scene within the divine light. They had all heard about the extraordinary tale of the newly arrived Upper God King in the Extreme Spirit Clan, but had not yet witnessed this God King's methods of attack. Now they were all intensely curious about Yi Chen's abilities. Seeing this, Haluan's sovereign fell silent and joined the 4 sovereigns in watching. As the entire scene of Yi Chen's fierce battle with the extreme spirit clan members Lei Yuan, Yin Meng, and Wumong unfolded to its end in the divine light, the four remaining sovereigns simultaneously inhaled deeply in astonishment, unable to stop themselves from exchanging glances. Having seen the conclusion, I trust everyone now understands why I have changed my thinking. Heluan Sovereign finally continued. I was already astonished that the Upper God King could battle 2 stars sovereign-level combat power and win with only a God King realm. After watching this battle scene, I finally realized that this Upper God King is unquestionably of extraordinary origin. His final attack on Wumong with that purple gold divine light and light gold divine light undoubtedly carries a great history. It even looks more special than my 9 stars sovereign's divine power. Heluan. The 4 other sovereigns also had a glint of keen light in their eyes. Are you suggesting that behind this Upper God King stands a divine master? Is that why he possesses such special divine power? Heluan's sovereign shook his head. No, I fear it's more than just a divine master. We have seen many divine masters, and even when our clan members returned from the cosmic sea, they passed on divine skills to our people. But have you ever seen anyone with such terrifying combat power? Behind this Upper God King stands undoubtedly a figure more formidable than a divine master. Chapter 1028, Refining the Divine Fire Again. Someone even more formidable than a divine master? This time, the other 4 8 stars sovereigns simultaneously showed drastic changes in their facial expressions. As they are about to step into the cosmic sea, they are naturally aware of the hierarchy within the cosmic sea, and they certainly understand what someone more formidable than the divine master represents. Could it be that behind this Upper God King, there stands a master? Or perhaps someone even more terrifying than a master, such as a great emperor or star lord? No, it couldn't be a great emperor or star lord. Beings of such stature are absolutely transcendent within the cosmic sea. Why would they come to this part of the universe to take a minor god king as their disciple? Sovereign Heluan also nodded at this time and said, it shouldn't be a great emperor or star lord. It is very likely that behind this Upper God King, there stands a master. However, even though a master isn't as terrifying as a great emperor or star lord, they are definitely incomparably superior to a divine master. When a divine master returns from the cosmic sea, the rulers of divine kingdoms may respect them, but they don't necessarily go to pay homage. After all, many rulers of divine kingdoms are formidable 9 stars sovereigns, and even further advancement could mean entering the divine master realm. Their respect may not be overwhelmingly strong. But the situation with a master is entirely different. In a single divine kingdom, many individuals break through to the divine master realm and venture into the cosmic sea. But among these divine masters, a master may not necessarily be born. We are fortunate in this part of the universe to have produced many masters among those who have ventured into the cosmic sea. But in some smaller universes, it is rumored that there isn't even a single master in the cosmic sea. If a master were to suddenly appear in a universe, then all the rulers of the divine kingdoms must come to pay homage. If they anger the master, it's entirely possible for the master to dethrone or even unhesitatingly kill a ruler of a divine kingdom. After all, no matter the status of a ruler of a divine kingdom in the star domain, within the divine kingdom, or even in a universe, they are nothing in front of a master in the cosmic sea. At this point, Sovereign Heluan's tone became extremely solemn. If behind this Upper God King there truly is a master, then even if the inquiry about Sovereign Insha's matter has nothing to do with the master, and might just be the personal affair of this God King, we must still show face to the master and deal with this matter properly. Therefore, since we know now that there likely is a master-level entity behind this Upper God King, we can't play ignorant. Regarding his request to meet several elder sovereigns of our clan, we must report this to those elders. The other 4 sovereigns nodded one after another. Yes, that's essential. We must report it. Among them, Sovereign Yinfang of the Silver-Eyed Wing branch spoke up. To be honest, at the time of the Sovereign Insho incident, although I was already a 6-star sovereign, I also didn't know what exactly happened. At the time, Sovereign Insha was the one with the strongest combat power among the sovereigns of our clan, and yet she returned hastily only to leave just as quickly, ending in disappearance. In the past, although Sovereign Insha followed a divine master lord from our clan to cultivate and frequently traveled across various universes, she would return once every century. But this time, such a long time has passed without any return. I am also quite curious about where Sovereign Insha has gone. The rest all shook their heads, and even Sovereign Haluan spoke. Back then, when Sovereign Insha returned, she only met with 3 elder sovereigns before she hurriedly left. Most likely, the events of that day are but lightly known by those 3 elder sovereigns. After a sigh, Sovereign Haluan once again focused on Yi Chen's request to meet the elder sovereigns. He said, "Since everyone has no objections to the matter of Upper God King Jiangli requesting a meeting, I will send a communication signal notifying the sovereigns going to Haoyin Ancient Stream, asking them to report to the elder sovereigns." "Send the signal, Haluan brother." The other 4 nodded. Sovereign Haluan was already prepared. He took out a dark blue bead, held it against his forehead for a moment, then suddenly infused divine light from his hand into the bead. With a whoosh, the dark blue bead transformed into a streak of light, flying out of the hall. Seeing the streak of light fly away, Sovereign Haluan sighed. "We have already sent the communication signal. Whether or not to meet that God King depends on the elder sovereigns. Counting the time, over 4 months remain, and the sovereigns who went to Haoyin Ancient Stream to cultivate should return by then. Before that, the 5 of us must ensure we handle the affairs of various branch clans well within our confines. As for the Upper God King, until the elder sovereigns respond, he should remain in the Extreme Spirit Ancient Land, waiting for the selection test in Extreme Spirit Martial Land. Yinfang, you can inform your clan's Yinlinger, asking her to send a message to the Upper God King, telling him that his request has been reported, and there will be a response in due course, so he need not worry." "No problem." Sovereign Yinfang nodded in agreement. The sovereigns are still waiting for a response. However, unbeknownst to them, when the communication signal streak of light flew out from the ancient water planet, heading to the deep ocean trench to the north of Extreme Spirit Sea, namely Haoyin Ancient Stream, it was stopped by a massive black barrier as soon as it reached the shore of Haoyin Ancient Stream, lingering outside the barrier. And upon looking at this black barrier, one can see that it completely shelters the Haoyin Ancient Stream, which is larger than many star continents. Previously, when Extreme Spirit Clan sovereigns entered Haoyin Ancient Stream, such a black barrier has never appeared. Clearly, this time, Haoyin Ancient Stream is distinctly different from before. Something unusual seems to have transpired inside. Extreme Spirit Martial Land, the room where Yi Chen resides. It has been 3 days since Yi Chen's sparring match with the 3 members of the Extreme Spirit Clan. During these 3 days, many people within the clan heard about Yi Chen and specifically came to the Extreme Spirit Martial Land to see what he looked like. Feeling like an outsider being watched, Yi Chen had no choice but to shut his room once more, refusing visitors and resuming his training. Just now, Yinlinger came to see him, and he had a conversation with her. Thinking of what Yinlinger said, Yi Chen touched his chin. I didn't expect that asking Linger for a little help this time not only made progress with those things but also brought back another good piece of news. After the battle with the 3 Extreme Spirit Clan members, Yi Chen approached Yinlinger for a specific purpose: to search for the cultivation materials for the remaining 2 divine patterns of the Eternal God Body, Fire Divine Pattern, and Chaos Divine Pattern. At this moment, Yi Chen had already completed the cultivation of the Earth, Water, and Wind 3 divine patterns of the Eternal God Body, and had found some materials for the remaining Fire Divine Pattern and Chaos Divine Pattern. Upon arriving at the territory of the True Spirit Divine Kingdom's 5 supreme clans, including the Extreme Spirit Clan, he certainly wouldn't miss the opportunity to search for materials. Yi Chen heard from Yinlinger that there is a special market in the Extreme Spirit Sea, within the Extreme Spirit Clan. One can trade treasures there while concealing all personal information. Currently unable to enter the Extreme Spirit Clan, Yi Chun entrusted several divine objects to Linger to trade at the market for the necessary materials. The divine objects given to Linger were either rare items obtained from the ancient forbidden grounds or divine treasures acquired from other places. Although these were of little use to Yi Chun, who possesses countless treasures, they were extremely precious to the members of the Extreme Spirit clan. Linger did not let Yi Chun down, successfully exchanging those items for several missing cultivation materials for the Fire Divine pattern. Of course, the other good news Yi Chun mentioned was not about the cultivation materials for the Eternal God Body. This good news came from the sovereigns of the Extreme Spirit clan, who had Linger inform Yi Chun that they had reported his request for an audience to the old sovereign heading to the Haoyin ancient stream, and that he should await a response. Upon hearing this news, Yi Chun was pleasantly surprised. This clearly indicated that his search for General Insha had progressed further. Indeed, after proving my strength, I quickly gained the attention of the high-level sovereigns of the Extreme Spirit clan. It's not urgent to wait for the message as there's still about a year left. Regardless of whether the old sovereign decides to meet me or not, they should provide an answer. Yi Chun finally felt a slight relief in his heart. However, during the waiting period, it's necessary to participate in the selection through the Extreme Spirit Martial Land to reach the Extreme Spirit Sea early. Then, I won't need Linger's help to attend the trade market and search for materials myself, as well as explore other treasures. There are still more than 20 days until the selection at the Extreme Spirit Martial Land begins. During this time, it's also appropriate to thoroughly study the Heavenly Forbidden Flame. With this in mind, Yi Chun moved with determination. Stretching out his hand, he immediately set up a defensive concealing grand formation, thoroughly sealing off his entire room. Then Yi Chun pointed with his hand once more. The green polar sky level storage ring obtained in the Heaven Forbidden Ancient Land appeared in his hand. This polar sky level storage ring contained a vast world inside, and Yi Chun could, of course, enter it. To study the Heavenly Forbidden Flame, Yi Chun wouldn't choose to do it directly in the Extreme Spirit clan's room. After all, the Heavenly Forbidden Flame was ranked second on the Extreme Heaven Divine Fire list as an unsurpassed divine fire, so he couldn't afford to casually reveal any information about it. Yi Chun planned to study it inside the polar sky level storage ring. With the natural isolation of the recognized polar sky level storage ring, along with the formation shield he left outside, he had no worries about anyone seeing him study the Heavenly Forbidden Flame. No sooner said than done. Taking out the green polar sky level storage ring, Yi Chun's mind and spirit shifted, and he transformed into a stream of light, flying into the interior of the polar sky level storage ring. Sitting cross-legged within the world inside the polar sky level storage ring, Yi Chun finally took out the Heavenly Forbidden Flame. The Heavenly Forbidden Flame, having been bound to Yi Chun in the ancient temple of the Heaven Forbidden Ancient Land, remained quiet even though he hadn't fully mastered this unsurpassed divine fire. If it hadn't been bound, with the Heavenly Forbidden Flame's formidable rank as the second on the Extreme Heaven Divine Fire list, the storage space of this polar sky level ring could never withstand its presence. It's likely that once released, it would immediately incinerate the entire polar sky level storage ring into nothingness. Within the ring's world, Yi Chun probed into the Heavenly Forbidden Flame with his divine sense, pondering the flame for a whole day. Then, Yi Chun began further refinement of the strongest divine fire in his possession. Chapter 1029 Selection arrives. The golden Heavenly Forbidden Flame floated in front of Yi Chun. With each day of refinement, the Heavenly Forbidden Flame seemed to undergo a subtle transformation. Though outwardly, it remained a golden fire, internally, its connection with Yi Chun grew ever closer. During the refinement process, Yi Chun even brought out the blue extreme ice flame and 7 other extreme heavenly divine fires. In the end, unexpectedly, Yi Chun, using an unknown method, managed to drive the Heavenly Forbidden Flame to completely devour the other 7 extreme heavenly divine fires. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 days had passed. On the day before the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection began, Yi Chun, who had been sitting and refining the heavenly forbidden flame, finally opened his eyes. Yi Chun pointed a finger, and the heavenly forbidden flame, hovering in front of him, flashed with a burst of golden light, transforming into a golden firebird. The golden firebird flew through the void, performing various marvelous attack moves. Its magical feathers unfolded gently, erupting with terrifying golden flames. After gazing at the golden firebird for a few breaths, Yi Chun seemed to sense something, nodding in satisfaction. Then, with a pinch of a spell, the firebird transformed back into its original flame form. Yi Chun then opened his mouth and inhaled, drawing the entire heavenly forbidden flame into his body. Yet, peering into Yi Chun's body, no trace of the heavenly forbidden flame could be found. Not bad, not bad. The heavenly forbidden flame, truly worthy of being the second-ranked, unsurpassed divine fire on the extreme heaven divine fire list. I thought it would be difficult to refine. Little did I expect that its high rank would mean an extremely strong resonance with its master. In just over 20 days, I managed to refine a tenth or so of this heavenly forbidden flame. Moreover, by harnessing the devouring might of this heavenly forbidden flame, I fully integrated several other acknowledged divine fires into this cluster of the heavenly forbidden flame, significantly improving my control over it. Not only can I fully unleash the power of a tenth of the refined, heavenly forbidden flame, but I can also absorb it into a nameless space within my body, completely undetectable by anyone. With the tenth of the attack power of this second-ranked, heavenly forbidden flame on the extreme heaven divine fire list, I've gained another trump card. Although Yi Chun has yet to truly utilize the heavenly forbidden flame in a confrontation, he can sense that even a tenth of its attack power is definitely on par with the starry origin power methods triggered by the 2 stars within his most powerful stars tower. Additionally, due to the unique nature of the heavenly forbidden flame, Yi Chun would never casually reveal it in front of others unless absolutely necessary, and he plans to further enhance its refinement. When the time comes for him to actually wield this divine fire in a critical moment, it will undoubtedly provide him with immense support. After properly securing the heavenly forbidden flame and sensing it within his body once more, Yi Chun then looked beyond the space of the extreme heaven-grade divine ring. Just one more day until the extreme spirit martial land selection, and over half a month has passed without word from the elder sovereigns of the extreme spirit clan. I wonder when they will respond. Yi Chun frowned. Oh well, let's first get through the extreme spirit martial land selection and enter the extreme spirit sea, where the extreme spirit clan resides. Yi Chun murmured to himself as he closed his eyes to cultivate within the extreme heaven-grade divine ring. When the second day arrived, the day of the extreme spirit martial land selection, Yi Chun flew directly from the extreme heaven-grade divine ring back to his room early in the morning. When Yi Chun deactivated the formation defense barrier, unblocked the prohibitions, and opened the door, he found the young girl, Yin Linger, already waiting outside his door. This time, Yin Linger was dressed in a white robe, which complemented her fair complexion, making her appear even more delicate. Upon seeing Yi Chun, the young girl beamed with crescent-shaped eyes, her bright eyes twinkling as if she had great news. She excitedly called out to Yi Chun, "Brother Yi Chun!" Upon a closer look at Yin Linger, Yi Chun immediately understood the source of her joy. In just over 20 days, Yin Linger had advanced from the lower God King realm to the middle God King realm. "Linger, you've made a breakthrough in your cultivation." Yi Chun smiled at Yin Linger as he stepped out of the room. "I've broken through, brother Yi Chun. I've broken through." Yin Linger chirped excitedly, her hands folded behind her back as she jumped in front of Yi Chun. "Thanks to the divine milk you gave me, I took it and immediately broke through the bottleneck, advancing to the middle God King realm. If it weren't for you, brother Yi Chun, without finding anything in the shallow blue sea area to break through, I don't know how long I would have been stuck in the lower God King bottleneck." Seeing Yin Linger's excitement, Yi Chun couldn't help but smile as well. While the divine milk does help in breaking through bottlenecks, it also requires one to cultivate to the peak of a minor realm and sense the bottleneck approaching. Your breakthrough is mainly due to your good foundational cultivation. However, Linger, Though you've advanced to the Middle God King, don't become complacent. The journey from the Middle God King to the Upper God King is also a lengthy one, and you'll need to continually refine your tactics. Listening to Yi Chen's guidance, Linger quickly nodded. Brother Yi Chen, I definitely won't slack off. Brother Yi Chen, you're only 3 years older than me, yet you're already at the Upper God King realm. Moreover, Brother Yi Chen, your tactics are so powerful you can even defeat a 2-star sovereign. Such mastery must take a lot of time to cultivate. Brother Yi Chen, your level of combat power is something Linger is far from reaching. With you as an example, Brother Yi Chen, Linger doesn't dare to slack off at all. The young girl's words brought a smile to Yi Chen's heart. Linger probably doesn't know how many crises I've gone through, how many fortuitous encounters I've experienced to reach my current stage. Otherwise, breaking through from Lower God King to Middle God King would take at least several decades to 100 years, and breaking through from Middle God King to Upper God King would take an even longer time. Yi Chen's breakthrough to the God King realm mainly happened in the Heavenly God Mountain. The Heavenly God Mountain is an opportunity left by the power of the ancestral God Temple in the Cosmic Sea, an opportunity that is extremely rare in this universe. However, breaking through from Upper God King to the Earth Divine Venerable in the God Venerable realm is another major hurdle. It has been several months since Yi Chen broke through to the Upper God King realm at the Heavenly God Mountain, and he has been steadily advancing towards the pinnacle of the Upper God King. Compared to other God Kings, Yi Chen's cultivation speed is extraordinarily fast. But the process of breaking through from Upper God King to Earth Divine Venerable, even with Yi Chen's rapid speed, is still a major hurdle moving from the God King realm to the Divine Venerable realm. It is not possible to complete in just a few months or a year or two. Yi Chen has yet to sense the arrival of the breakthrough bottleneck. Back then, Longli broke through from Upper God King to Earth Divine Venerable because we merged the blue extreme ice flame in the Nine Suns ancient land, aided by the Heavenly Union flame and a special training between us, which led to a successful breakthrough. Such a breakthrough opportunity is just like when I trained in the Divine Transformation Pool at the Heavenly God Mountain. These are circumstances one cannot force. There's no rush to reach the Divine Venerable realm, actually. In a few years, I will represent Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom as a God King for the Stellar Domain Genius Battle in this universe. Before participating in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle, even if I reach the peak bottleneck of the God King realm, I will refrain from using the Divine Milk to break through, stay in the God King realm stage, and strive for excellent results in the Battle of the God Kings for the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom first. Participating in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle is the third requirement of Sovereign Xuechen and the Northern Territory King for Yi Chen. Although Yi Chen breaking through to the Earth Divine Venerable realm before the Stellar Domain Genius Battle won't draw any objections from both sovereigns, it was originally due to him that Longli advanced early to the Earth Divine Venerable realm and could not represent Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle's Battle of the God Kings. The results of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle are also related to resource distribution between the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom and other divine kingdoms. Yi Chen certainly has the obligation to complete this task for Longli. Once he breaks through to the Earth Divine Venerable realm, although his combat power will undoubtedly reach a higher level, competing in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle's Battle of Divine Venerables, and becoming one of the leading figures among all the Divine Venerables in this universe will not be an easy feat. Yi Chen knows that many Divine Venerables from powerful clans are certainly capable of battling a sovereign, possessing high-level sovereign combat power. With confidence representing the God King realm in the fight, Yi Chen is certain he can at least secure a top position in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle's Battle of the God Kings. This would far exceed the initial requirement mentioned by the two sovereigns for him to reach the final round of the Stellar Domain Genius Battle's Battle of the God Kings. Currently, whether it's a great divine kingdom like the True Spirit Divine Kingdom or relatively smaller divine kingdoms like the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom, there should be no God King who can compare to me. The ones potentially stronger than me are only from the most powerful clans in this universe. The Moke Ancient Clan, Netherworld Ancient Clan, such clans of God Kings. Yi Chun knew from the heavenly spirit rankings on the 5th floor of the Stars Tower that high-level life forms such as the Moke Ancient Clan and the Netherworld Ancient Clan are clans transmitted to this universe from the Cosmic Sea. In the Cosmic Sea, the Moke Ancient Clan is even stronger than the human race. With the human race capable of producing strong figures like the ZG Star-Lord, the Moke Ancient Clan certainly also has strong Star-Lord figures. It's possible there are God Kings among those ancient clans who obtained Star-Lord inheritances. Even if Yi Chen's current combat power could transcend the major realm of Divine Venerable Realm, Yi Chun would never be arrogant enough to claim he could surpass all the God Kings in this universe. Even though he decided to restrain his realm before the Stellar Domain Genius Battle's Battle of God Kings, Yi Chun would never slacken for even a moment. He is determined to enhance his combat power as much as possible within the God King realm, striving to face any opponent in the Stellar Domain Genius Battle's Battle of God Kings. Brother Yi Chun, Brother Yi Chun. Yin Linger's white hand waved in front of Yi Chen's face, bringing him back from his thoughts. Brother Yi Chun, what are you thinking about? Yin Linger asked curiously. Yi Chen smiled. It's nothing. Just thinking about some matters concerning the God King realm. Looking outside, quite a few people from foreign races were heading towards the selection area, and many were greeting him. Yi Chun nodded back at them. Then, Yi Chun said to Yin Linger, Linger, let's go. It's about time to see what the selection at the Extreme Spirit Martial Land is like. Chapter 1030- Photographing Spirit Mirror and Unexpected Event. The Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection process is carried out in a special selection realm. This selection realm is just like the battle space where Yi Chun once sparred with 3 members of the Extreme Spirit Clan. Both were created by a 9-star sovereign of the Extreme Spirit Clan. Inside the selection realm, it's extraordinary in size and incredibly solid. When Yi Chun and Yin Linger arrived at this realm, hundreds of thousands of people had already gathered and more continued to stream in. Among them, aside from tens of thousands who, like Yi Chun, came to participate in the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection as foreign races, the vast majority were from the 7 branches of the Extreme Spirit Clan, coming to watch the bustle. Upon entering, Yi Chun and Yin Linger were both surprised by the sea of people and the bustling scene. Yi Chun, big brother, usually the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection, mainly attracts outsiders participating in the selection. Our Extreme Spirit Clan rarely shows interest in watching such selections, apart from a few people. I didn't expect so many would come this time. The number this time is more than 10 times that of previous events. Amidst exclamations, Yin Linger quickly deduced why so many clan members came here. Yi Chun, big brother, with so many people here this time, most are probably here to watch you participate in the selection. After all, your reputation has spread throughout the Extreme Spirit Clan. Most people missed your previous spar with the 3 of our clan members, and now they want to see what you truly look like. Saying this, Yin Linger giggled. The young girl found it quite amusing to see so many coming for the spectacle. Yi Chun, big brother, you are indeed very charming, Yin Linger thought quietly to herself. As Yi Chun and Yin Linger moved towards the crowd from the entrance, countless gazes focused on Yi Chun. Look, the Upper God King Zhongli, he's here. Wow, so young. Is he really that powerful? For many of the Extreme Spirit Clan, it was their first time seeing Yi Chun, and they were all amazed. Hearing the countless discussions and feeling himself become the center of attention, coupled with the teasing glance from the young girl Yin Linger beside him, Yi Chun could only smile helplessly. In this selection realm, there are designated selection areas. After bidding farewell to Yin Linger, Yi Chun headed directly towards the selection area. Before reaching the selection area, many foreign participants began greeting Yi Chun. Zhongli, my friend. Brother Zhongli. These foreign participants lived with Yi Chun in the residential area of the Extreme Spirit Martial Land. Many had personally witnessed Yi Chun's 3 epic battles and worshipped him to an extreme degree. Yi Chun also waved at these people with a smile, then walked into the center of the crowd. Qi Xian, my friend, in this Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection, what kind of tests will there be? Yi Chun asked a burly upper immortal divine venerable nearby. This upper immortal divine venerable, Qi Xian, is from a mid-tier tribe in the true spirit divine kingdom, the Qiyu clan. The Qiyu clan is proficient in the Earth Escape divine skills, and in appearance, they are very similar to the human tribes, except their skin is layered in an earthy brown color and their heads are rather long and pointed. Although Yichun has mostly been cultivating since arriving at the extreme spirit martial land, spending little time outside, he lives quite close to Qi Xian, the upper immortal divine venerable of the Qiyu clan, so they are quite familiar with each other. Upon Yi Chen's inquiry, Qi Xian, though an upper immortal divine venerable, showed no hint of looking down upon Yi Chen, a divine king. Qi Xian had personally witnessed Yi Chen's prowess. Zhongli, my friend, while you were busy cultivating these past days, I managed to gather a fair amount of information, Qi Xian said quietly to Yi Chen. I heard that every time the extreme spirit martial land selection comes around, the tests are different, and this time is no exception. Apart from the first stage, which checks if the participating foreign races harbor hostility towards the extreme spirit clan, or have any malicious intent to infiltrate the extreme spirit sea by using the photographing spirit mirror test as before, the remaining selection rounds will all be new and completely different from previous times. Furthermore, until the selection officially begins, no one except the high-ranking sovereigns of the extreme spirit clan who set the selection rules knows what the actual selection methods will be. Hearing Qi Xian's words, Yi Chen nodded. What Qi Xian said aligns with what Linger told me, as well as what the Huyan Divine Master mentioned to me in the past at the Demon Tombs. It seems that aside from the first photographing spirit mirror test, no one really knows about the other selection methods. Even though he wasn't aware of the exact selection process, Yi Chen did not feel any apprehension. Back at the Demon Tombs, Yi Chen had already fought with a combat doll left by General Insha on a dead star, where Huyan Divine Master assured him that Yi Chen would surely pass the combat power evaluation for the extreme spirit martial land selection. As for the photographing spirit mirror test to determine if any participant harbors hostility towards the extreme spirit clan, Yi Chen was even less worried. He held no hostility towards the extreme spirit clan whatsoever. Thinking about the photographing spirit mirror, Yi Chen grew curious. What kind of miraculous treasure is this photographing spirit mirror that it can test whether participants in the selection process hold resentment towards the extreme spirit clan? Is it possibly a type of divine soul-testing treasure? Though Yi Chen had heard the name photographing spirit mirror, he had never seen it and knew nothing about its origins. All will become clear once I see the photographing spirit mirror and experience its testing method, Yi Chen thought to himself. As they waited in the crowd, the start time for the extreme spirit martial land selection drew nearer. In the end, the number of people pouring into the selection heaven and earth reached as many as 1 million. What surprised Yi Chen and the others the most was that just before the selection was about to begin, 3 high-ranking sovereigns of the extreme spirit clan entered the selection heaven and earth, among which there was even a 9-star sovereign. A 9-star sovereign. Could it be that this time a 9-star sovereign will preside over the selection? Yi Chen found it hard to believe. After all, he had heard from Linger that this kind of extreme spirit martial land selection was always presided over by the 6-star sovereign responsible for guarding the extreme spirit martial land, and he had never heard of anyone beyond the 6-star sovereign presiding over a selection. Moreover, the sovereigns of the extreme spirit clan were said to have gone to the Haotian ancient stream for cultivation, leaving only 1 9-star sovereign in the clan. Yi Chen heard from Linger that the 9-star sovereign was called Sovereign Haluan. Could it be that this 9-star sovereign in person is that Sovereign Haluan? At this moment, seeing a 9-star sovereign bringing an 8-star sovereign, along with the 6-star sovereign Lei Bo responsible for the extreme spirit martial land, whom many people in the field were familiar with, entering the selection space, not only Yi Chen was shocked, but even many clansmen of the extreme spirit clan were extremely surprised and started discussing among themselves. Quite a few clansmen of the extreme spirit clan who recognized the 9-star sovereign and the 8-star sovereign even called out directly, Elder Haluan, Elder Fong. The 9-star sovereign and the 8-star sovereign were surprisingly the Sovereign Haluan and the Sovereign Fong of the Silver-Eyed Wing Branch, which were previously discussed to help Yichun transmit a message to the elderly sovereign who went to the Haoyan ancient stream. Hearing the surprising voices around, Sovereign Haluan smiled at the crowd and waved his hand. Immediately, his gaze penetrated the crowd, looking at Yichun in the selection area. This must be young brother Zhongli. I came here this time not to preside over the selection, but to talk about something with young brother Zhongli. The matter of presiding over the selection is still left to Lei Bo, my young brother. Boom! Sovereign Haluan, being a 9-star sovereign. Although his voice was not loud, it clearly reached everyone's ears. With a swish, all eyes turned to Yichun, as everyone was evidently not expecting the 9-star sovereign Elder Haluan to come personally to see the miraculous divine king and to speak with this upper god king. Haluan Sr. Yin Fong Sr. Hearing Sovereign Haluan's words, Yichun quickly cupped his fists and bowed to Sovereign Haluan and Sovereign Yin Fong. He already knew from Yin Linger passing the message that these two helped him greatly in seeking a meeting with the elderly sovereign of the Extreme Spirit clan, and the commotion among the crowd also made him aware of their titles. While saluting the two sovereigns, Yichen's heart skipped a beat. He thought of something. More than 20 days ago, Yichun heard Yin Linger mention that the two sovereigns had already sent divine sense messages to the Haoyan ancient stream. During this period, Yichun had been waiting for news. Logically speaking, with the Extreme Spirit clan's method of transmitting messages, 20 days should be more than enough time for a response to come back. Now seeing Sovereign Haluan coming personally to say there was something to be said, Yichun immediately had a premonition. Could it be that there was some unexpected situation with the message sent to Haoyan ancient stream? While Yichun was speculating, Sovereign Haluan's voice had already directly transmitted through the secret divine sense into his ears. This time, Sovereign Haluan did not reveal the words for others to hear. Only hearing Sovereign Haluan say to Yichun, "Young brother Zhongli, regarding your request to see my clan's elderly sovereign, I am already aware and have reported it to the elderly sovereign. However, there was a slight unexpected situation with this matter." Sure enough, just hearing this first sentence caused Yichen's expression to change. Yichen's gaze turned to Sovereign Haluan, wanting to hear what more he had to say. Sovereign Haluan continued, "The divine sense message sent to the Haoyan ancient stream never received a response, and just a few days ago, I too felt something was amiss, so I specifically went to the Haoyan ancient stream once, and as a result, I saw that the divine sense message was blocked outside the Haoyan ancient stream, and never entered the Haoyan ancient stream. No wonder there was no response from the elderly sovereigns cultivating within the Haoyan ancient stream. Moreover, I discovered that the entire Haoyan ancient stream was shrouded by a powerful force, temporarily impossible to enter the Haoyan ancient stream. The Haoyan ancient stream is shrouded by a powerful force? Unable to enter it? The divine sense message blocked outside?" Hearing this news, Yichen's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that something happened to those Extreme Spirit clan sovereigns who went into the Haoyan ancient stream to cultivate? If something happened to those elderly sovereigns, then he might not even be able to find out the last bit of information about General Insha. However, the next moment, Sovereign Haluan's words made Yichen's heart relax a little. "However, young brother Zhongli, you don't have to worry too much. The force shrouding the entire Haoyan ancient stream is precisely the power of our clan's sovereigns, rather than any other special force. Although it appears that something unexpected happened at the Haoyan ancient stream, there are many of our clan's powerful sovereigns there, and they deliberately used divine power to shroud it. There must be special reasons. Plus, with so many powerful sovereigns of our clan present, there is no need to worry too much about their safety." Chapter 1031 Secret Patterns. I left that divine message outside of the Haoyan ancient stream. Once the formidable powers of my clan remove the divine power's concealment, they will naturally discover the message, and then there will surely be a response. Sovereign Haluan said finally. Sovereign Haluan's words made Yichun nod. Indeed, almost 99% of the sovereigns of the Extreme Spirit clan went to the Haoyan ancient stream this time. As one of the 5 great supreme clans in the true Spirit Divine Kingdom, the strength of the Extreme Spirit clan is not much weaker than that of the Bloodwing clan and the 9 Flames clan. The clan has more than 29 star sovereigns, and countless sovereigns below the 9-star Lord realm. At this moment, only Sovereign Haluin, a 9-star sovereign, remains in the clan to oversee clan affairs. Just entering the Haotian ancient stream, there are more than 29 star sovereigns. With so many 9-star sovereigns, it seems virtually impossible for anything to happen in the cultivation ground Haotian ancient stream. However, given the unusual events occurring there, Yi Chun was not willing to sit idly by. After all, this concerns his important task of finding General Insha and lifting the curse of the Huyen Divine Master. Yi Chun transmitted to Sovereign Haluin, asking, "Senior Haluin, is there any way I could go to Haotian ancient stream and see for myself?" As if already anticipating Yi Chen's question, Sovereign Haluin smiled and said, "I know, young friend Zhongli, that you come from an extraordinary background and have countless means. However, Haotian ancient stream is a crucial cultivation land for our extreme spirit clan, and it's difficult even for ordinary members of our clan to enter, let alone people from foreign races. For young friend Zhongli to cultivate inside Haotian ancient stream is practically impossible. Even to just have a look outside the Haotian ancient stream, you must help the extreme spirit clan complete missions, accumulate merit points to achieve first-class merit, and become someone of great contribution to our extreme spirit clan." Realizing that entering to cultivate in the Haotian ancient stream is indeed impossible for him as a non-member of the extreme spirit clan, Yi Chun thought that to be able to check outside and assess the situation of the Haotian ancient stream would already be acceptable. Afraid helping the extreme spirit clan with missions and accumulating merit points to reach first-class merit isn't easy, is it? Yi Chun asked Sovereign Haluin. "I only have a year to stay here at the extreme spirit clan." He doesn't have that much time to complete missions slowly and accumulate merit points at the extreme spirit clan. If within half a year there are no clues about General Insha, he will have to find another way to remove the curse left by the Huyen Divine Master within him. Upon hearing Yi Chen's words, Sovereign Haluin seriously replied, "It is indeed not easy to accumulate merit points to reach fixed merit in the extreme spirit clan. This requirement not only demands achieving the highest grades in the extreme spirit martial land selection, but also to be directly selected into the best extreme spirit mission team, to complete missions for the extreme spirit clan, and even face the most dangerous tasks during the process to accumulate enough merit points in a short time to reach first-class merit, and gain the greatest freedom in the extreme spirit clan. If your results in the extreme spirit martial land selection are not good, and you are selected into a weaker extreme spirit mission team, the missions will be much less dangerous, and the accumulation of merit points will be much slower." Yi Chun nodded, pondering in his heart. "Looks like I need to prepare two strategies. First one is to wait inside the extreme spirit clan for news from the old sovereigns about General Insha, and ideally have the chance to visit Haotian ancient stream as soon as possible. This means I must achieve top grades in this extreme spirit martial land selection." According to Linger's explanations of past extreme spirit martial land selection rules, regardless of the selection methods, my combat power should be enough for top grades, as long as I don't hold back too much. Okay, then let's really go for it in the extreme spirit martial land selection. After all, I'm going to spend some time here at the extreme spirit clan and want to look for treasures in those trade fairs to cultivate the eternal god body. The more merit points I accumulate, the greater freedom I can gain in the extreme spirit clan. Of course, the second preparation is also very critical. With just about a year left from the time limit set by Huyen Divine Master to find General Insha, if I can't find General Insha during this time period, I'll have to rely on other methods to dispel the curse danger left by Huyen Divine Master inside my body. The curse left by the Divine Master can only be removed by finding someone more powerful than the Divine Master, or trying to find a way to solve the curse power from the Skywind medical scripture left by the Skywind Divine Master. Yi Chen's mind and spirit flickered, and he made an instant decision. Seeing the change in Yi Chen's expression, as his face gradually grew resolute, Sovereign Haluin realized that this extraordinary divine king probably already had many ideas in mind. As for why this divine king was searching for Sovereign Insha, Sovereign Haloin was not particularly concerned. He cared that this divine king, possibly with a great personage backing him, came to the Extreme Spirit clan, and he must be treated kindly without leaving any grievances. This was also why he, a 9-star sovereign, came to the Extreme Spirit Martial Land, to explain to Yi Chun the reasons behind the changes in the Haotian ancient stream. Finally, Sovereign Haloin said to Yi Chun, "Young friend Zhongli, these are the matters I wanted to convey. If any more news comes from the Haotian ancient stream, I will inform young friend Zhongli. I will take my leave now as there are still many matters to attend to in the clan. I wish young friend Zhongli success in achieving satisfying results in the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection." This final statement clearly signaled his departure. Sovereign Haloin didn't telepathically message Yi Chen again. Instead, his voice once more resonated in the selection space. Hearing the courteous tone of Sovereign Haloin's words, many people from the Extreme Spirit clan and the foreign race participants in the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection were greatly surprised. They knew Yi Chen was formidable, but they didn't expect Sovereign Haloin, a great figure in the 9-star Lord realm, to be so polite to Yi Chen. This upper god king, Zhongli, seems to have a background even more extraordinary than we imagined. Otherwise, Elder Haloin, Sovereign, wouldn't be so courteous to him. What did Elder Haloin, Sovereign, say to him? For a moment, everyone's gaze toward Yi Chen became markedly different. Yi Chen also knew that Sovereign Haloin intentionally let those words spread, giving him some face, showing the crowd his regard for him. Yi Chen was quite grateful in his heart for Sovereign Haloin coming specifically to speak. Yi Chen cupped his fists towards Sovereign Haloin and said, "I understand your intentions, Senior. Senior, please go about your duties. After the selection at Extreme Spirit Martial Land finishes, when I can enter the Extreme Spirit Sea, I'll certainly visit you again." Sovereign Haloin smiled, patted Yi Chen on the shoulder, then nodded to Sovereign Lei Bo beside him before swiftly leaving the selection realm. The nearby Sovereign Yinfang also exchanged polite words with Yi Chen before departing. The scene returned to the normal state of the selection process. At this time, Sovereign Lei Bo, responsible for overseeing the selection of Extreme Spirit Martial Land, finally announced the beginning of this Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection and began to announce the official rules. According to Sovereign Lei Bo, this Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection will be divided into 4 rounds. The first round is the Photographing Spirit Mirror Test, which solely assesses whether the foreign participants harbor hostility towards the Extreme Spirit clan or have special intentions of infiltrating the Extreme Spirit Sea. The test results are simply pass or fail, not involving other scores. However, starting from the second to the 4th round, each selection process will result in 4 grades: upper level, middle level, lower level, and eliminated. If any round in the later stages results in the worst grade of eliminated, there will be no chance to pass the selection to enter the Extreme Spirit Sea. Simultaneously, Sovereign Lei Bo also mentioned that the better the scores achieved by foreign participants in the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection, the higher the level of assignments they will be given after entering the Extreme Spirit clan, and the better the treatment they will receive. Yi Chen considered these factors during his conversation with Sovereign Haloin. In the next 3 rounds, Yi Chen will strive to achieve upper-level scores. If he achieves upper level in all 3 rounds, it will be the best result in this selection, facilitating his swift accumulation of merit points. After Sovereign Lei Bo announced the selection rules, the tens of thousands of foreign participants in the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection were taken to the first selection location, the Photographing Spirit Mirror area. This was a location at the far right of this selection realm. Here, there was a massive circular blue light sphere, thousands of feet large, towering above the earth. Sovereign Lei Bo said to the tens of thousands of foreign participants, "Inside this blue light sphere is the Photographing Spirit Mirror space. All participants must fly into this space to partake in the test. At that time, everyone will enter a separate, mirrored world within the Photographing Spirit Mirror to undergo testing. The test duration will last for an hour. If, during this hour, you are repelled by the blue light sphere, it means the test is not aligned, indicating there are certainly some issues with you and the Extreme Spirit Clan. Those who don't qualify should leave on their own. Of course, the photographing spirit mirror is a miraculous treasure of our clan. If anyone harbors great enmity or malicious intentions towards us, the blue light sphere will alert us as it repels you. At that time, don't blame our clan for being merciless. Sovereign Lei Bo's words were stern, causing many foreign participants to hurriedly nod. Regarding the photographing spirit mirror, these foreign participants had already gathered information. Those who truly came here would not dare risk their lives to offend the Extreme Spirit Clan. After everyone understood, Sovereign Lei Bo waved his hand, allowing the participants to fly into the blue light sphere to formally begin the first round of the photographing spirit mirror test. Whiz, whiz, whiz. The tens of thousands of foreign participants, like a swarm of locusts, flew into the blue light sphere, each entering different testing spaces. Among the crowd, Yi-chan also spent a few moments observing the blue light sphere. Then, without any visible movement, he flashed into the blue light sphere. Once inside the blue light sphere, Yi-chan found himself in a small space where everything above, below, and around, except for the spot he stood, was filled with gleaming mirrors. These mirrors did not reflect Yi-chan's image. Instead, they were inscribed with special patterns. Upon Yi-chan's entry into this space, these special patterns began emitting bright silver light, and in an instant, all the light shone upon Yi-chan. Chapter 1032 - Terrifying Power. In the other testing spaces, they were also entirely filled with brightly shining mirrors. The special engravings on these mirrors emitted extremely bright silver light, shining upon all members of the foreign races. At the moment the light shone, these people were immediately confined by an unknown force within the testing space. An extraordinary soul investigation began to unfold directly within their divine souls. An hour of photographing spirit mirror testing time. Clearly, these mirrors in the space are the so-called photographing spirit mirrors. As time passed, among the tens of thousands being tested, hundreds were directly rejected by the blue light sphere. Each of the ones rejected felt immense fear in their hearts. They didn't harbor a significant enmity towards the Extreme Spirit Clan, and they had unintentionally killed members of the clan during previous explorations, thinking such hidden matters wouldn't be detected by the photographing spirit mirror. But unexpectedly, the mirror could uncover these incidences, directly rejecting them. Fortunately, they personally did not have deep hatred against the Extreme Spirit Clan. They did not intentionally kill clan members back then, and were not specially marked by the photographing spirit mirror. Otherwise, being here for the selection process, they might have directly faced retaliation and death from the clan members. Seeing they couldn't pass the test at the photographing spirit mirror, these rejected foreign members didn't have the face to linger further in the Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection space. With pale expressions, they respectfully saluted the indifferent Sovereign Lei Bo observing them from the side, and left dejectedly. At this time, almost everyone was caught in the soul investigation of the photographing spirit mirror. However, there was someone who was an exception. That person was Yi-chan. While other testers were restrained by the enigmatic force of the photographing spirit mirror, within the testing space to undergo soul testing, Yi-chan felt that the moment the rays emitted by the mirror's special engravings reached him, it was as if a fuse triggered something else. Instantly, Yi-chan felt a strange object directly manifest within him. When he saw this peculiar object, it was as if a thunderous explosion went off in Yi-chan's mind. This peculiar object was undoubtedly the mysterious rune seal from the ancient forbidden grounds that once transported him to the Sea of Taboo. Formed by the three segments of unnamed mantras Yi-chan received in the ancient forbidden grounds, this bizarre rune seal. Back then, this strange rune seal transported Yi-chan from the ancient forbidden grounds to the Sea of Taboo, then vanished silently. Yi-chan thought it had directly disappeared from him. But Yi-chan didn't expect the mysterious rune seal was still within him, and during this round of the photographing spirit mirror test, it revealed itself. What shocked Yi-chan even more was that upon its manifestation, this strange rune seal lightly trembled. That subtle tremor. Yichun felt as if an earth-shattering, fearful power was sealed within this mysterious rune seal. This power gave Yichun the impression that it far surpassed the feeling he had when facing the Huyen Divine Master. This power felt as if it was countless times stronger than even a Divine Master. As if, should Yichun command this power, he could crush millions of stars in this universe with just a twist of his hand. How could Yichun not be astonished? Hidden within him was such a peculiar rune seal, revealing a terrifying force, which was truly shocking. Yichun intended to carefully inspect this odd rune seal, but after a tremble, it absorbed all the rays aimed at him from the photographing spirit mirror, and subsequently, the brightly shining mirrors in Yichun's testing space dimmed, and the special engravings ceased emitting light, as the bizarre rune seal within Yichun disappeared again. This time, even though the peculiar rune seal vanished, Yichun knew it was thoroughly hidden within him, hidden somewhere unknown. This rune seal definitely harbors a huge secret. What is its purpose in taking me from the ancient forbidden grounds to the Sea of Taboo? Containing such terrifying power, seemingly a force countless times more dreadful than a divine master. What is its motive hiding within me? Why was I never able to detect this rune seal, but it appeared momentarily here at the photographing spirit mirror? Could it be that there's some connection between the rune seal and the photographing spirit mirror? Inside the testing space, Yichun could no longer focus on the photographing spirit mirror. His mind raced contemplating all these questions. Luckily, this rune seal and its power seemingly doesn't intend to harm me. Otherwise, with this force, not just myself, but destroying the entire true spirit divine kingdom with ease would be simple. Thinking of this, Yichun's mind eased slightly. Yet, having such an explosive element hidden within him felt unusual to Yichun. The fact that an entity as powerful could form a rune seal in the ancient forbidden grounds indeed shows its uniqueness. Divine masters can't teleport within the true spirit divine kingdom, but this bizarre rune seal transferred me from ancient forbidden grounds to Sea of Taboo. I initially speculated that the creator of the ancient forbidden grounds might be more formidable than a divine master, and surely enough, the secrets of the ancient forbidden grounds remain unclear for the whole true spirit divine kingdom. Moreover, the inexplicable connection between the ancient forbidden grounds and the Sea of Taboo. These speculations were inevitable for Yichun. After all, the ancient forbidden grounds and the Sea of Taboo were both mystical places within the true spirit divine kingdom the countless martial artists couldn't comprehend among the 8 great forbidden lands. If Yichun knew the peculiar rune seal hidden within him was formed from absorbing the strange rays emitted by the 8 great forbidden lands, he would be even more astonished. This rune seal not only relates to the ancient forbidden grounds and Sea of Taboo, but also intertwines with the other 6 major forbidden lands. Yichun was further unaware of the hidden strand of hair from the stunningly regal female Great Emperor within this peculiar rune seal. Given his realm, he certainly couldn't decipher the concealment method of such an existence. Within the testing space, only after the peculiar rune seal vanished for a long time did Yichun recover from his shock. Seeing no continuation of testing from the photographing spirit mirror, he wasn't in a hurry to leave the testing space. After all, according to the test's rules, leaving before the allotted time would result in disqualification, which was undesirable. Yichun contemplated while patiently waiting in the testing space. Time flowed, and the hour-long test duration finally ended. When time elapsed, each testing space's photographing spirit mirror brightened once again, flashing blue light to expel those tested. The testing space Yichun was in also emitted this blue light, though this time it didn't trigger the peculiar rune seal for another anomaly, and Yichun exited along with the others from the photographing spirit mirror test. Upon exiting, Yichun heard Sovereign Lei Bo's voice addressing them. All of you have successfully passed the first round of photographing spirit mirror testing. Prepare immediately for the second selection round. After speaking, Sovereign Lei Bo readied to lead the group towards the second selection area. At this moment, Yi Chen's figure flickered, arriving beside Sovereign Lei Bo. Yi Chen transmitted his voice to ask Sovereign Lei Bo, Senior Lei Bo, do you know from where the Extreme Spirit Clan obtained the photographing spirit mirrors? Can you share some insight about them with the junior? Chapter 1033, Fate Tribulation Cave. The foreign participants in the selection, upon seeing Yi Chen instantly flash to Sovereign Lei Bo's side, were quite startled. Sovereign Lei Bo was also momentarily stunned upon hearing Yi Chen's question. The photographing spirit mirror? Sovereign Lei Bo, worthy of being a 6-star sovereign, quickly regained his composure. If other foreign participants suddenly asked him, Sovereign Lei Bo might not respond at all, or even reprimand them. But Yi Chen is no ordinary person. Even the current 9-star sovereign within the Extreme Spirit Clan, Sovereign Haloan, is highly courteous to Yi Chen. Sovereign Lei Bo wouldn't fail to notice that Yi Chen's background is extraordinary. Upon hearing Yi Chen's inquiry, Sovereign Lei Bo smiled and replied to Yi Chen, the matter of the photographing spirit mirror is not particularly confidential, so telling you, Zhongli, is permissible. This treasure was invented by a prominent figure in our clan who comprehended a unique, secret pattern from the Sea of Taboo and refined it using our clan's divine skills. Rumor has it that the place where the secret pattern resides is in a special cave within the Sea of Taboo. That cave is said to be terrifying beyond measure, and none of our clan's great figures have been able to fully explore it. Sovereign Lei Bo shared all he knew about the photographing spirit mirror with Yi Chen. When Sovereign Lei Bo mentioned the words, secret pattern, Yi Chen suddenly remembered the special patterns on the photographing spirit mirror during the previous test. These patterns, are they really from the Sea of Taboo secret patterns? Previously, it was this light emitted by the secret patterns that triggered the strange rune within me. The rune condensed by the ancient forbidden grounds, the secret pattern appearing in the Sea of Taboo, and my sudden teleportation from the ancient forbidden grounds to the Sea of Taboo. It seems this strange rune has a special connection with the Sea of Taboo. Perhaps to crack the mystery of the strange rune, it's really necessary to return to that Sea of Taboo to investigate further. As Yi Chen was contemplating, Sovereign Lei Bo suddenly spoke to him. By the way, Zhongli, I heard you were inquiring about a powerful predecessor of our clan, a sovereign Insha, who reached the 9-star sovereign realm several tens of thousands of years ago? Actually, the prominent figure who left the photographing spirit mirror secret patterns was believed to be the Insha senior of that time. Boom! Sovereign Lei Bo's words struck Yi Chen's mind with a shock. General Insha. General Insha invented the photographing spirit mirror by comprehending secret patterns within a terrifying cave in the Sea of Taboo? Could it be that his current search for General Insha has some unknown connection with the Sea of Taboo? Yi Chen's mind flashed with realization. He felt he might be unknowingly linked to some special events. Perhaps this special event will help him find General Insha. Seeing Yi Chen deep in thought, Sovereign Lei Bo led the crowd, continuing to fly toward the site of the second round of selection. After pondering for a while, Yi Chen also kept some thoughts in his mind. He followed the team, flying toward the site of the second round of selection. Upon arriving at the location for the second round of selection, Yi Chen was utterly surprised that this site turned out to be a continuous, endless giant mountain. At this moment, they all stood at the foot of the giant mountain, at the entrance of a cave. Sovereign Lei Bo addressed the crowd. Starting from the second round of selection, it is time to determine the different achievement ratings of the selection. As I mentioned earlier, the ratings are divided into 4 categories: upper level, medium level, lower level, and eliminated. The location for this second round of selection is called Fate Tribulation Cave. Let's go. Everyone follows me into the cave, and I'll inform you about the method of selection in the Fate Tribulation Cave. The crowd proceeded in line, entering the cave within the giant mountain. Upon entering, Yi Chen discovered that the cave was unimaginably vast, providing ample space for all tens of thousands of participants. At the innermost part of the cave, 3 entrances, each several tens of meters in diameter, surrounded by divine light, were revealed. Sovereign Lei Bo pointed at those 3 entrances and spoke to the crowd. Those 3 entrances are the places for this second round of selection, the Fate Tribulation Cave. The so-called Fate Tribulation Cave means this cave might be a fortuitous opportunity or a dire trial for you, depending on your strength and perceptive skills. The 3 entrances, from left to right, correspond to the difficulty levels: upper level, medium level, and lower level. Naturally, you all have different combat power, and after entering the same difficulty level of Fate Tribulation Cave, the selection method you face will be different. In this round of selection, you must choose the entrance you wish to enter. If you succeed in passing the upper-level difficulty of the Fate Tribulation Cave, you will achieve an upper-level rating. If you pass the medium-level difficulty, you will achieve a medium-level rating, and likewise, succeeding through the lower-level difficulty results in a lower-level rating. However, failing within the Fate Tribulation Cave results in elimination, granting an eliminated rating, thereby getting disqualified from this round of selection. I must remind you that although you can choose which Fate Tribulation Cave to enter, do not wish for things beyond your reach. If you lack absolute confidence in your combat power, avoid rashly entering the upper-level difficulty of the Fate Tribulation Cave. Or you may find that instead of earning a medium-level rating, you may be eliminated at the upper-level difficulty and directly disqualified, which would be a significant misstep. Sovereign Lei Bo's explanation of the Fate Tribulation Cave selection method caused a buzz among the audience. Everyone was surprised that this round of selection required them to decide the difficulty level themselves. For those wanting to practice in the Extreme Spirit Clan, of course, they all hope to achieve the highest level rating. To achieve such a rating, one must enter the upper-level difficulty of the Fate Tribulation Cave to earn it. But indeed, as Sovereign Lei Bo mentioned, if one is eliminated in the upper-level Fate Tribulation Cave, there won't be another chance to try other difficulty levels of the Fate Tribulation Cave. At that time, unable to obtain an upper-level rating while being directly eliminated would certainly be extremely disappointing. What should we do? Which Fate Tribulation Cave should we choose to brave? All at once, everyone's eyes started scanning the entrances of the 3 Fate Tribulation Caves. Sovereign Lei Bo wouldn't give everyone much time to think. He addressed the group of participants. Now, the second round of selection officially begins. The entire process lasts 2 hours. If you cannot emerge from your chosen Fate Tribulation Cave, in that time you will fail. Encountering unavoidable deadly danger during the venture will also result in you being transmitted out by the cave's protective prohibition, which equally counts as a failure. Now, start your venture. Once Sovereign Lei Bo finished speaking, surprisingly, no one flew into the Fate Tribulation Cave. Even the Dominion Realm experts among the foreign races hesitated for a moment. After all, these caves have different selection methods corresponding to different levels of combat power. Even if they reach the Dominion Realm, they can't be sure to conquer the upper-level difficulty. Amidst this hesitation, a figure from the crowd flew toward the upper-level difficulty of the Fate Tribulation Cave. In a flash, the figure entered the leftmost cave with upper-level difficulty. When the participants saw this figure clearly, they were stunned. It's the Upper God King Zhang Li. He chose the upper-level difficulty cave without hesitation. Even though he's extremely powerful, the selection method inside the cave is based on combat power. Among Dominion Realm powers, the upper-level difficulty is undoubtedly the hardest. Does he have the confidence to pass through? Amidst the commotion, Sovereign Lei Bo also nodded as he watched Yi Chen's disappearing figure. This second round of Fate Tribulation Cave selection not only tests combat power but also courage. If one doesn't possess the courage to choose the upper-level cave initially, they certainly won't achieve upper-level scores. Of course, besides courage, one needs strength to conquer their chosen challenge. This Upper God King, Zhang Li, reaching Dominion Realm power as an Upper God King speaks of an extraordinary background. His choice suggests he has the confidence to face any danger and pass through. After contemplating for a while, Sovereign Lei Bo turned his gaze to the other foreign participants still hesitating. Sovereign Lei Bo's cold voice reached these people's ears. Only 2 hours for selection. The more you hesitate, the less time you'll have inside the Fate Tribulation Cave. Don't blame me for not warning you. The distance inside the cave is quite long. If time isn't sufficient, you may not get through by the end. Sovereign Lei Bo's words startled the yet undecided foreign participants. Suddenly, countless participants clenched their teeth, making their final decisions. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The crowd continuously shot into the Fate Tribulation Cave. However, in terms of chosen caves, over 80% of the tens of thousands of participants opted for the medium-level difficulty cave. It seems these people are aiming for safety. The remaining 10%, like Yi-chun, chose the upper-level difficulty cave. As for the lower-level difficulty cave with lower-level scores, perhaps everyone deemed it too poor to accept, as not a single person chose it. After several dozens of breaths, tens of thousands of foreign participants entered into the second round of tests within the Fate Tribulation Cave. Selection Observatory Area. A huge void light screen appeared in the void. All Spirit Clan members gathered to watch, fixing their eyes on the gigantic screen in the sky. Upon seeing Yi-chan, the first to enter the Fate Tribulation Cave selection, a wave of cheers erupted from the observatory area. That's the Upper God King. He chose the upper-level difficulty. Most Spirit Clan spectators came to watch Yi-chun. Seeing him go for the highest difficulty brought out a wave of cheers. They were here for the spectacle, naturally hoping for as much excitement as possible. If this rising Upper God King chose medium-level or lower-level difficulty, even if he passed the cave, they would be immensely disappointed. In the crowd, Linger watched Yi-chen's figure vanish at the cave entrance, her beautiful eyes shining. 2 hours of venture time. Yi-chan? How long will he take to pass through this upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave? Chapter 1034- Divine Statue and Flawless Divine Skills. After tens of thousands of candidates had entered the Fate Tribulation Cave, the enormous light screen in the void of the viewing area suddenly changed, revealing 3 exits of the Fate Tribulation Cave. Additionally, below the 3 exits, there was a special elimination exit for each. All the members of the Extreme Spirit Clan watching the selection were intently staring at the 3 exit points. Of course, the vast majority of their attention was fixed on the Fate Tribulation Cave exit with upper-level difficulty. It's a pity that the enormous light screen doesn't show the specific situation of the candidates inside the Fate Tribulation Cave. We can only see who comes out from these exits first. Many members of the Extreme Spirit Clan felt it was a shame. Everyone waited quietly, expectantly. The 2 hours of trial reckoning for the waiting persons felt like nothing at all. While the members of the Extreme Spirit Clan awaited, the Sovereign Lei Bo, responsible for the selection, also turned his figure in a twirl and disappeared from the entrance. In the next moment, he appeared at the exit position on the other side of the endless chain of giant mountains at the second selection boundary. Sovereign Lei Bo was also waiting outside. Just when everyone was waiting, roughly after more than 20 breaths, the first ray of light flashed at the exit point. Swish! Instantly, everyone's gaze turned towards that beam of light. Someone is out. So quickly. Who came out? It seems it's from the upper-level difficulty exit. In a wave of excitement, the crowd issued a collective sigh of "Oh." It wasn't a successful passage, but an elimination. The first figure to appear was eliminated. He came out from the elimination exit of the upper-level difficulty, not from the normal upper exit. All eyes turned to the figure that had been eliminated, and when they saw it was a 2-star sovereign from a foreign race, many were surprised. A sovereign got eliminated. I remember this sovereign entered the Fate Tribulation Cave of upper-level difficulty shortly after the Upper God King Zhongli. How could he be eliminated after only more than 20 breaths? Is the Fate Tribulation Cave of upper-level difficulty that terrifying? Amid the discussions, Sovereign Lei Bo at the exit also looked at the eliminated foreign sovereign. You failed the second round of the Fate Tribulation Cave trial. Leave now. Sovereign Lei Bo sighed, addressing the foreign 2-star sovereign. At this time, the eliminated foreign sovereign's face was still pale. Others couldn't see the specific trial situation inside the Fate Tribulation Cave. But this foreign sovereign couldn't forget the scene of failure just now. He entered the Fate Tribulation Cave, only to find himself in a vast world of mountain rocks. And he immediately sensed that the exit direction of the Fate Tribulation Cave lay straight ahead. In the immense world of mountain rocks, countless strange stones stood everywhere, with dangers lurking in unforeseen places. This foreign sovereign, having chosen upper-level difficulty, proceeded with utmost caution. He protected his body all over with protective divine light, while also bringing out several of his powerful divine artifacts. However, what the foreign sovereign didn't expect was that despite his caution, a massive rain of void flying swords suddenly fell from the void of the mountainous realm just after he flew for a few breaths. The void flying swords descended from the sky, sheer terror to the utmost degree. This foreign sovereign was also startled. He dodged the barrage of falling swords in a flash but hadn't yet caught his breath when something eye-popping happened. A flying sword abruptly appeared in front of him, skewering his divine body with a single strike. If not for the special protective prohibition within the Fate Tribulation Cave, this foreign sovereign knew that one strike would have likely killed him. In the next moment, he was eliminated. Upon reaching the outside of the Fate Tribulation Cave, the foreign sovereign still couldn't believe such a deadly flying sword could appear during the selection inside the Fate Tribulation Cave. He hadn't even had time to activate his divine artifact, as the suddenly appearing flying sword shattered all his protective divine light. This kind of killing speed surpassed even his reaction speed. Too terrifying. Too terrifying. I'm afraid even at my peak strength, I might not be able to pass this upper-level difficulty. Is the upper-level difficulty that tough? The defeated foreign sovereign was left in disarray. He didn't even hear Lei Bo Sovereign's words asking him to leave. Bang! While the foreign sovereign was stunned, another flash of divine light appeared at the exit next to him. Another figure emerged. This figure also came from the direction of the upper-level difficulty. Looking towards the upper-level difficulty direction, it was apparent that this figure, too, emerged from the corresponding lower elimination exit of the upper-level difficulty. This second person to come out was also someone who had been eliminated in the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave. Time flowed by. The further along it went, the more figures emerged. However, whether it was the members of the Extreme Spirit Clan watching or Sovereign Lei Bo presiding over the selection, they all realized that everyone coming out initially was someone who had been eliminated. Moreover, the majority of them were those who entered the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave. Out of tens of thousands of personnel, more than 10% entered the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave, and it's only been a short while, yet hundreds have been eliminated from the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave. Is the difficulty inside that challenging? It seems like those who chose the medium-level difficulty, the more than 80%, made the right choice. Seeing the terrifying elimination rate, the perspectives of the Extreme Spirit Clan members watching also started to shift. At this moment, many were worried for Yi Chun. They remembered that their most concerned Upper God King also entered the Fate Tribulation Cave with upper-level difficulty. Among those eliminated, there are even 2-star and 3-star sovereigns. This indicates that having strong combat power alone is not enough to navigate out of the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave. There must be other trials inside, possibly assessing reaction speed, divine soul power, or even defensive power. That Upper God King's combat power is reportedly extraordinary, but how strong is he in other aspects? Will he end up like those foreign 2-star and 3-star sovereigns, entering the wrong Fate Tribulation Cave, and ultimately facing regretful failure? Even Yin Linger in the crowd showed signs of worry in her eyes at this time. Not a single person had successfully come out yet. All those who emerged were eliminations. Not knowing the selection method within the Fate Tribulation Cave, even Yin Linger began to worry if Yi Chun could make it through. Inside the Fate Tribulation Cave. At this moment, in a vast mountain terrain space, Yi Chun was continuously observing a gigantic divine statue thousands of feet high. Moments earlier, Yi Chun had navigated through a frightening sea of fire, a valley inhabited by countless fierce beasts, and a space of slaughter with relentless blade dances. Relying on numerous methods and his powerful blue divine soul probing abilities, Yi-chun had successfully made it through all the obstacles. While flying towards the exit, Yi-chun suddenly sensed a region on the right where divine light shimmered. Being audacious, he flew directly towards the divine light and eventually discovered the colossal divine statue now before him. Yi-chun noticed that the statue was surrounded by mysterious divine light, which even his formidable divine soul couldn't probe clearly. However, Yi-chun found that all around the statue's body were carved countless mantras, which turned out to be a special cultivation technique called Immaculate Body Protecting Divine Skill. The Fate Tribulation Cave has both tribulations and opportunities. It seems that the mantras left by this statue are an opportunity. Yi-chun's thoughts swept around, and after circling the statue, he committed to memory the set of polar sky-level mantras. Then, after finding no other anomalies, Yi-chun continued to fly towards the exit. Should we glance towards the trial space of other candidates, we'd see such a divine statue standing tall within each trial space. However, very few could overcome the layers of danger to discover the statue, and even fewer dared to deviate from their original flight path, spending time flying towards the statue. As the selection time elapses, slowly, the moment of selection ending after nearly 2 hours was finally approaching. Chapter 1035 Lord Yen. As the time approached the end of the second round of selection, finally it wasn't only the eliminated ones coming out. At last, someone succeeded in breaking out from the Fate Tribulation Cave. It's a 1-star sovereign from a foreign race. He chose the medium difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave and came out successfully. Upon seeing the first successful figure emerge, many members of the Extreme Spirit Clan watching the selection shouted out. Before these voices faded, more and more people successfully broke through. A divine venerable has succeeded. A divine king. This divine king who chose medium difficulty also managed to break through. It seemed like this time was about when people could break out from the Fate Tribulation Cave, and suddenly the number of successful people increased dramatically. Yet all the Extreme Spirit Clan members watching noted that even though many succeeded in breaking out of the Fate Tribulation Cave, all those who succeeded chose medium difficulty. The upper-level difficulty exit, however, hadn't seen a single successful person. Those who came out from there were all eliminated from the lower elimination exit. This situation increased the astonishment of everyone towards the difficulty level of the upper-level difficulty. The participants who successfully broke out from the medium difficulty exit also sensed something amiss, and they too were shocked. Not a single person has succeeded in breaking out of the upper-level difficulty level of the Fate Tribulation Cave yet. Oh my God! I thought medium difficulty was hard enough. It seems upper-level difficulty is unbelievably terrifying. Each of those who broke out from the medium difficulty exit breathed a sigh of relief, feeling a sense of fortune. Luckily, I didn't choose upper-level difficulty. I heard sovereigns from other races failed. If I had chosen upper-level difficulty, I might have also failed in this second round. When there was still a cup of tea time left until the end of the 2-hour breakthrough time, no one had successfully emerged from the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave, while the number of people eliminated from it had reached thousands. It's likely that not many were left striving in the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave. Seeing this situation, many Extreme Spirit Clan members watching the selection had an incredible thought emerge in their hearts. Could it be that all who entered the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave will fail this time? Some of them had seen previous Extreme Spirit Martial Land selections. Of course, each selection method was different. A selection method like the Fate Tribulation Cave hadn't appeared before. However, these people remembered that previous selections also had extremely difficult methods, where daring to enter high-difficulty trials resulted in complete failure. Could it be the same this time? These people mused. However, the crowd noticed that even though thousands were eliminated from the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave, possibly constituting the majority, they did not see the figure of the Upper God King they were watching for among the eliminated. That Upper God King Zhongli hasn't been eliminated, which means he is still striving in the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave. However, there's not much time until the end of the 2-hour time limit. If he doesn't get out soon, he will also be deemed as failed. It looks like this upper-level difficulty is indeed incredibly tough. Amidst the discussions, young girl Linger, standing up from her seated position watching the battle, fixed her beautiful eyes on the void's light screen. As each minute passed, her heart tightened more. Yichen, there's not much time. Please come out fast. The young girl prayed silently in her heart. Yichen had saved her life. She didn't want to see her Yichen fail to even enter the extreme spirit sea, just when only half a cup of tea time remained until all time ended. And as Linger was so nervous that she could barely breathe, suddenly, she saw a familiar figure flash out of the upper-level difficulty exit. Linger was instantly in a daze, then rubbed her eyes rapidly. She finally confirmed that this figure that just appeared was indeed her well-known Yichen. Yichen has come out. He came out of the upper-level difficulty exit. He is the first to successfully emerge from the upper-level difficulty exit. Linger jumped up excitedly in the viewing area. It wasn't just Linger. Others in the viewing area also saw Yichen successfully coming out of the upper-level difficulty exit. This was the first person to successfully emerge from the upper-level difficulty exit, and it was the Upper God King they focused on. How could this not make everyone excited? Instantly, the entire viewing area was filled with a mixture of excited discussions and joyful exclamations. At the exit location of the second selection area, others who successfully broke out were waiting outside for the time to end. When they saw Yichen successfully emerge from the upper-level difficulty exit, all these foreign race members who had broken out from the medium difficulty exit widened their eyes. Someone successfully broke out from the upper-level difficulty exit? It's the Upper God King Wang Jiangli. Oh my God! He has surprised us once again. In an instant, a group of people gathered around Yichen, asking him about the situation inside the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave. Through their inquiries, Yichen also learned that he was the first to successfully pass through the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave. When Yichen told them he had gone through 13 zones of slaughter tests in the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave, which not only tested his combat power to the limit, but also included several unpredictable surprise attacks, those who chose the medium difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave and succeeded patted their chests and exclaimed with relief. After Yichen emerged from the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave, the people who came out afterward almost only in the final moments before the 2-hour selection time ended did 2 sovereigns from foreign races and 3 divine venerables manage to emerge from the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave. Finally, when the 2-hour mark arrived, all who had not yet emerged were engulfed by divine light and transported out, marking the end of the second round elimination results. When those who passed the second selection gathered again, the group found that this round had eliminated more than half of the participants. Those eligible to continue with the selection numbered just over 10,000. Among them, the vast majority had chosen the medium difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave and succeeded, earning medium scores for the second selection. Only 6 people had managed to break out from the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave. Only these 6 obtained the highest upper-level score in the second selection. Immediately, the results of this second selection began to widen. At this point, the responsible 6-star sovereign Lei Bo nodded with a smile at Yichen, then addressed the remaining candidates. All right, regardless of the outcome, the second round of selection is over. At least you can still continue on, while the others have been eliminated. When Sovereign Lei Bo said this, the foreign race candidates expressed their regrets. Indeed, regardless of the results, they at least still had the hope of entering the Extreme Spirit Sea. The others this time had no chance to enter the Extreme Spirit Sea. Sovereign Lei Bo gestured to stop the discussions, his gaze shifting to the north of the selection world. Now, proceed to the places for the third and fourth rounds of selection. Both the third and fourth round selection places are located in the same area, and there is some connection between them. When Yichen and the others followed Sovereign Lei Bo to the selection area for the last 2 rounds, Yichen finally understood why Sovereign Lei Bo said these 2 rounds of selection were in the same area. The third and fourth round selection location was unexpectedly situated on a vast platform tens of thousands of square miles in size within the selection world. Here, the remaining candidates would undergo the final 2 rounds of selection. What surprised Yi Chun was that in the center of this immense platform, he saw a familiar divine statue, the enormous 1,000-foot-high divine statue he had seen in the Fate Tribulation Cave. Back then, in the Fate Tribulation Cave, Yi Chun discovered a special cultivation technique named Immaculate Body Protecting Divine Skill from the divine statue. Though he didn't know what its use was, he merely recorded the mantra. Yi Chun hadn't expected to see the divine statue again at the site of the last 2 rounds of selection. And now, Yi Chun noticed that around the divine statue, the mantra for the Immaculate Body Protecting Divine Skill was nowhere to be found. As Yi Chun stared at the familiar divine statue in surprise, 2 other people were also taken aback. These 2 individuals had also seen the divine statue in the upper-level difficulty Fate Tribulation Cave and recorded the mantra for the Immaculate Body Protecting Divine Skill. They were 2 sovereigns from the foreign races. As for the others, they hadn't noticed the divine statue during the second round of selection. This was their first time seeing it. Just as everyone was puzzled about what the vast platform and the towering divine statue represented, Sovereign Lei Bo spoke up. Sovereign Lei Bo first bowed to the divine statue, then said to Yi Chun and the others, "This divine statue is the original form of Lord Yen, a legendary figure who once helped our clan, someone even more formidable than the Divine Master. The upcoming 2 rounds of tests are related to the legacy left by Lord Yen. Lord Yen, someone even more formidable than the Divine Master." Upon hearing Sovereign Lei Bo's words, countless eyes turned to the divine statue but found themselves unable to discern its features. However, everyone held their breath, knowing that a figure more formidable than the Divine Master must be beyond their imagination. At this moment, Yi Chen's eyes suddenly narrowed. He noticed the word Yen engraved below the divine statue. Lord Yen. The word Yen. Just as Yi Chun seemed to be on the brink of realizing something, Xiaozhou's voice suddenly echoed in his mind. "Yi Chun! I have a feeling that Lord Yen, who once helped the Extreme Spirit Clan, might be the same as Lord Emperor Yen, who imparted a wealth of knowledge to me. Previously, when I saw that divine statue in the second selection area, the Fate Tribulation Cave, I wasn't sure. But upon seeing this statue and the word Yen below, I suddenly have this feeling." Chapter 1036 Demon Polluted Beast. Xiaozhou's words startled Yi Chun even more. Earlier, Yi Chun vaguely linked the character Yen to the Lord Emperor Yen he had heard of, as the character was quite rare. Now Xiaozhou's words further confirmed his suspicion. Lord Emperor Yen. Both Yi Chun and Xiaozhou were extremely familiar with this being. Back when Yi Chun faced the great cleanse catastrophe of the Undersea Divine Palace in the Minor Spirit Realm, he received the Emperor Yan's triple flash triple kill technique left by Lord Emperor Yen, which helped him navigate many crises during the catastrophe. Later, Yi Chun obtained the Eye of the Divine Sea from the Undersea Divine Palace, which allowed him to participate in the 9 Divine Institutes assessment at the Mountain Divine Nation. Although Yi Chun had never met Lord Emperor Yen, indirectly, Lord Emperor Yen had helped him grow significantly. At the time, Yi Chun heard that Lord Emperor Yen was an unparalleled existence, surpassing countless lower star continents and numerous upper realm divine kingdoms, traversing numerous star domains. Then, Yi Chun only knew that Lord Emperor Yen was more powerful than the sovereign realm, someone who transcended the sovereign realm. Now, Yi Chun has learned about the Divine Master realm that surpasses the sovereign realm, but he clearly feels that even a strong Divine Master realm cannot traverse countless star domains. Yi Chun knows that Lord Emperor Yen is definitely stronger than a Divine Master realm expert. This also aligns with what Sovereign Lei Bo said about the owner of the statue Lord Yen, who he affirmed is a figure more powerful than a Divine Master. Could it be that this Lord Yen is truly the Lord Emperor Yen I heard of back then? Yi Chun was shaken to his core. As the Soul Beast Clan, 9 Spirit Sparrow, left behind in the Undersea Divine Palace by Lord Emperor Yen, in principle, Xiaozhou should know more about Lord Emperor Yen than Yi Chun. However, when Xiaojiu was born in the Undersea Divine Palace, Lord Emperor Yen had already left the Undersea Divine Palace countless years ago. Although Xiaojiu was infused with countless knowledge by Lord Emperor Yen because of the Nine-Spirit Sparrow clan, she never saw Lord Emperor Yen in person. It was only through a subtle sense of the grandeur in the knowledge infused by Lord Emperor Yen that Xiaojiu felt that the divine statue of Lord Yen of the Extreme Spirit clan might indeed be linked to Lord Emperor Yen. With their suspicions, Yichun and Xiaojiu viewed the statue in a completely different light. If Yichun and Xiaojiu indeed encounter the miracles left by Lord Emperor Yen here in the Extreme Spirit clan, it would be an unexpected delight. While Yichun and Xiaojiu were communicating mentally, on the side, Sovereign Lei Bo continued to introduce matters about the original form statue of Lord Yen. Countless ages ago, our Extreme Spirit clan lived in the Extreme Spirit Sea and were peaceful for many years. However, later on, a great crisis almost led to the destruction of our entire Extreme Spirit clan. When Sovereign Lei Bo spoke of this, his expression became extremely serious. And all the foreign martial artists, hearing Sovereign Lei Bo's words, collectively gasped. A great crisis that almost wiped out the entire Extreme Spirit clan? What kind of crisis? In the True Spirit Divine Kingdom, they had never heard of such things. The Extreme Spirit clan is one of the 5 supreme clans of our True Spirit Divine Kingdom. What crisis could annihilate such a great clan? The foreign clan members were all shocked in their hearts. That great crisis was due to a terrifying exotic beast appearing in the Extreme Spirit Sea. Sovereign Lei Bo's voice trembled slightly. This exotic beast is named the Demon-Polluted Beast. The Demon-Polluted Beast not only reproduces at an astonishing rate, its strength grows rapidly, but most terrifyingly, it emanates a demon pollution that seems not to belong to this universe. If a martial artist comes into contact with this demon pollution, even a sovereign, their divine strength would be corroded. Once its divine strength is corroded, it can even affect the martial artist's realm itself. At best, the realm decreases, and at worst, the martial artist's divine strength can be completely polluted, causing its complete disappearance and leading to instant death. Those demon-polluted beasts would use the polluted divine strength to boost their own power after they corrupt a martial artist's divine strength. When the demon-polluted beasts suddenly appeared in the Extreme Spirit Sea, they initially hid. When their numbers increased, and many 9-star Sovereign Realm demon-polluted beasts emerged, even our Extreme Spirit clan gradually could not resist. Combined with the bizarre attack and hiding methods of the demon-polluted beasts, the Extreme Spirit clan soon fell into a downhill position. If these demon-polluted beasts were allowed to develop unchecked, they could destroy our entire Extreme Spirit clan and potentially spread throughout the entire True Spirit Divine Kingdom. Just when our Extreme Spirit clan couldn't resist any longer and was about to seek help from other supreme clans, Lord Yen appeared. Lord Yen personally exterminated all the demon-polluted beasts in the Extreme Spirit Sea, helping our Extreme Spirit clan avert a great crisis. However, although that batch of demon-polluted beasts was eradicated, Lord Yen also warned us that the demon-polluted beasts were formed from the aura emitted by an even more terrifying exotic beast not belonging to this universe. That most terrifying exotic beast is something even more dreadful than the demon-polluted beasts. Something that, even in the cosmic sea, terrifies countless powerhouses of the cosmic sea. Even Lord Yen could not completely eliminate that even more terrifying exotic beast. Therefore, that more terrifying exotic beast might still emit aura, forming demon-polluted beasts. And the threat to the Extreme Spirit clan has not disappeared. Before Lord Yen left, 18 domains were created in the Extreme Spirit Sea to absorb that frightening aura, causing the ensuing demon-polluted beasts to appear in those 18 domains. Lord Yen reminded us always to monitor the formation of demon-polluted beasts and to constantly kill the demon-polluted beasts inhabiting these 18 domains to prevent their excessive reproduction. To this end, Lord Yen left our clan a cultivation technique called the Immaculate Body Protecting Divine Skill, which is immensely useful in repelling the demon-polluted power of the demon-polluted beasts. Recently, our extreme spirit clan has observed unusual activity in the demon-polluted beasts within the 18 domains, with a sign of significant increase. So the third and fourth rounds of your selection are related to the demon-polluted beasts and the immaculate body-protecting divine skill, left by Lord Yen. In the third round, everyone will sit below the original form statue of Lord Yen and receive the divine light infusion of the immaculate body-protecting divine skill. This divine light infusion is a specific method left by Lord Yen. The more affinity you have with the immaculate body-protecting divine skill, the more divine light infusion you will receive, and the stronger your cultivation results will be. The results of the third round of selections will be decided based on the level of divine light infusion you receive. In the fourth round of selection, you will be directly transported to one of the 18 domains of the demon-polluted beasts to start exterminating them. The more demon-polluted beasts you kill within the time limit, the better the result. Ultimately, your final selection level will be determined based on your results across the 4 rounds. I must tell you that after entering the Extreme Spirit Sea, most tasks you will help the Extreme Spirit Clan with will be related to slaying demon-polluted beasts. Thus, you must strive hard to cultivate the immaculate body-protecting divine skill and receive as much divine light infusion as possible in the third round. Sovereign Lei Bo's words left many of the selection participants with their mouths agape. This was their first time hearing of such a creature as the demon-polluted beast, a horrifying exotic beast that can corrupt and erode divine strength. With such beasts still present within the Extreme Spirit Sea, how could this not alarm everyone immensely? What was even more inconceivable was that the demon-polluted beast, which was terrifying enough, was formed by the aura of an even more frightening exotic beast. What exactly was that more terrifying exotic beast? Thinking of what Sovereign Lei Bo mentioned, that even more terrifying exotic beast that even countless powerhouses of the cosmic sea feared, several selection participants shuddered all over. They could imagine that if they encountered that more terrifying exotic beast, the beast could likely obliterate their lives with just a breath. Apparently, this universe is not so peaceful. Even the cosmic sea is not peaceful. Countless realms conceal hidden dangers. If it weren't for beings like Lord Yen protecting us from dangers, many divine kingdoms might have already perished, not to mention the countless other dangers that might exist, which are fended off by even more powerful figures. It is only because of them that we can calmly cultivate in the divine kingdoms. Chapter 1037, Divine Light Shines. The foreign races in the arena were all terrified by the rumors of the demon-polluted beast, and even more so by the mention of an even more terrifying exotic beast by Sovereign Lei Bo. They thought of those great figures who protect them and safeguard this universe. Upon hearing the rumors of the demon-polluted beast, Yichun likewise thought of the great figures who helped this universe fend off countless dangers. With great power comes great responsibility. Yichun sighed in his heart. Long ago, when Yichun was still the weakest martial artist in the true Qi realm, he strived not to be called one of the 3 fools of Qingyun's sect anymore, fighting to establish himself in the world of martial arts. Upon breaking through to the Spirit Sea realm, he learned Jiang Yao's origins and had already taken on the heavy burden of avenging Jiang Yao and the Divine Phoenix clan. Later, he grew step by step, becoming stronger bit by bit. Breaking through to the rotating pill realm, reaching the heavenly saint realm, achieving true God, and becoming divine king, Yichun not only helped heavenly saint Qianji fulfill his wish, capturing the old ancestor of Humpback Mountain who harmed heavenly saint Lianyu, but also assisted Jiang Yao in resolving the 2 main enemies of the Divine Phoenix clan, the Vermilion Bird clan, and the Flying Spirit clan's chiefs in the Undersea Divine Palace of Minor Spirit Realm. Furthermore, he helped the Zhou family of the Divine King in the Divine Kingdom develop and prosper again, and saved Lin Fair, sister of Lin Shan who was imprisoned on Heavenly God Mountain. Now, Yichun is no longer just fighting for himself. He also helps countless people he encounters who need aid. Yichun knows if Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom faces danger, if this universe faces threats, if he can help, he will likewise unhesitatingly assist, just as he has done for his family, for Zhang Yao's ancient clan, and for others. Indeed, as Sovereign Lei Bo said, this universe still harbors countless dangers. Many great figures have shielded us from danger, allowing us peace of mind in cultivation and growth. When we grow strong, we must take up this burden and protect the younger generation. With mind and spirit increasingly reflective, Yi Chen's eyes grew brighter. He was not frightened by the recently learned dangers of the demon-polluted beast, and that even more terrifying exotic beast. Rather, these dangers further fueled Yi Chen's tremendous motivation. He desired his strength to be formidable enough to aid his tribe, to guard his people. At present, although I am not as formidable as Lord Yan, or even that Lord Emperor Yan, I can still do what I am capable of. With light flashing in his eyes, Yi Chen once again looked at the divine statue of Lord Yan. Now, the upcoming 2 rounds of trials are opportunities for growth and striving. To receive more of the immaculate protective divine skills divine light infusion, I will work hard to accept as much as possible and cultivate the immaculate protective divine skill to its utmost intricacy. Then, in the 4th round, I will exert all efforts to slay the demon-polluted beast. For my selection score, and also to help the Extreme Spirit Clan eradicate more demon-polluted beasts, and furthermore to equip myself with more means to handle the demon-polluted beast in the future. Yi Chen will not regard the demon-polluted beast merely as the issue of the Extreme Spirit Clan. This exceedingly dangerous creature may very well appear in other divine kingdoms, perhaps even within the Wanmu Mountain Divine Kingdom. Being able to cultivate methods to combat such a creature that potentially threatens all divine kingdoms is certainly ideal. Yi Chen glanced at the divine statue, unable to contain his eagerness to begin the 3rd round of cultivation. Others from foreign races also began to gaze at the divine statue of Lord Yin, driven by the desire to obtain the divine light infusion. Sovereign Lei Bo, witnessing this, finally began to speak concretely about the 3rd round of selection. In the 3rd round, you will receive the Immaculate Protective Divine Skills Divine Light Infusion left by Lord Yin, which will last for an hour. During this hour, you are to receive as many layers of divine light infusion as possible. Your selection score will be determined based on the number of layers received. If you don't receive much, later you can only rely on your own cultivation of the Immaculate Protective Divine Skill technique to enhance the protection level against the demon-polluted beast. Receiving 3 layers or less in the divine light infusion results in elimination score, causing direct disqualification in the 3rd round of selection. Receiving 4 to 6 layers results in a lower level score. Receiving 7 to 9 layers results in a middle level score. Receiving 10 to 12 layers results in the best upper level score. Upon receiving 10 to 12 layers of divine light, the Immaculate Protective Divine Skill will directly manifest in silver. Its corresponding divine light will be sufficient to withstand the demon pollution of a sovereign level, demon-polluted beast. Of course, above sovereign level, there exists an even stronger golden level that surpasses sovereign level divine light. Rumored to reach such a divine light level, it can not only fully shield against the damage brought by demon-polluted beast, but even defend against harm from those more terrifying exotic beasts behind it. However, you do not need to give too much thought to obtaining this golden divine light infusion. Even our Extreme Spirit Clan sovereigns are unable to receive this level of divine light infusion. That tier is the highest level of the Immaculate Protective Divine Skill, specifically left by Lord Yen for more frightening exotic beasts, not solely aimed at the demon-polluted beast. Alright, now everyone sit cross-legged on the stone platform, listen to my mantra, and start preparing to receive the divine light infusion. After Sovereign Lei Bo finished speaking, whoosh whoosh whoosh, the more than 10,000 foreign race members who had passed through the photographing spirit mirror and fate tribulation cave to arrive at the 3rd round, many dashed eagerly towards the stone platform closest to the divine statue. These people could imagine that the closer to the divine statue, the higher the likelihood of receiving divine light infusion. However, the space below the divine statue is limited, and only a few quick movers manage to squeeze to the area directly beneath the statue, leaving the rest slightly farther away. Amidst the crowd scrambling for spots, Yichun did not follow suit in scrambling. He simply sat cross-legged at the place where he originally stood. Yichun pondered within his heart, with a character like Lord Yen at such a level, if there were truly to be a divine light infusion, it would be impossible for merely being close to the divine light to receive more infusion of divine light. Though there is some possibility, it's extremely limited. More importantly, it depends on the compatibility with the immaculate body-protecting divine skill and the comprehension of one's own cultivation technique. Instead of fighting for it, one should rely on true strength to win. Wow! 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 Among the crowd, there were also people like Yichun who had confidence in themselves and sat down nearby. Before long, even those fighting for territory sat down. More than 10,000 martial artists sat scattered across a stone platform spanning hundreds of thousands of feet. Once everyone sat down, the mantra of Sovereign Lei Bo reached everyone's ears. This mantra was precisely the one to invoke the infusion of divine light. Yichun and members of various foreign races began to chant the invoking mantra with Sovereign Lei Bo. Countless voices echoed quietly on the stone platform, and after several breaths, as the invoking mantra was completed, the originally silent divine statue suddenly emitted more than 10,000 beams of divine light. Divine light directly encompassed everyone seated on the stone platform. Next, everyone felt an inexplicable infusion of divine light rushing towards them. Of course, although everyone could sense the divine light infusion, its intensity varied from person to person. Soon, the differences became apparent. Just several breaths later, 3 people began to float several feet into the air from their seated position. Of these, 2 were foreign sovereigns, with one floating up 2 feet and the other 3 feet. The third person was Yichun, who floated to a height exceeding 6 feet. If anyone could discern the similarity among the 3, they would find that all of them had received the immaculate body-protecting divine skills cultivation mantra during the second round of the Fate Tribulation Cave selection and had seen the divine statue. Evidently, the opportunity to see the divine statue in the second round gave them an advantage in receiving the divine light infusion in the third round. However, even among the leading 3, Yichun was the farthest ahead. Clearly, though they all saw the divine statue, Yichun's capacity to receive the divine light infusion surpassed that of the 2 sovereigns. At this moment, Yichun, floating beyond 6 feet high, had received 3 layers of divine light infusion, which appeared as 3 layers of divine light phantoms shimmering around him. Meanwhile, the other 2 sovereigns only had 2 layers of divine light phantoms. As for those still seated on the ground, yet to float up, they had merely received 1 layer of divine light infusion. Of course, this was only the situation after several tens of breaths. As time passed, gradually the situation on the field began to change. Others gradually floated up from the ground, their divine light infusion layers increasing continuously. After a cup of tea's time, 3 individuals surpassed the previously leading 2 sovereigns. However, none of the 3 could surpass the foremost Yichun. At this time, Yichun had already floated beyond 15 feet high, receiving 6 layers of divine light infusion. He had 3 layers more than the second-ranked person. Time flowed. When half the allotted time for divine light infusion, an hour had passed. Yichun had floated to a height of 100 feet, having received 10 layers of divine light, transforming into a divine marvel of silver. According to Sovereign Lei Bo, this outcome had already reached the upper level of achievement in the third round of divine light infusion selection. As for the second-ranked individual, they had just floated beyond 40 feet, having only received 6 layers of divine light, still within the lower level range, far behind Yichun. Yichun directly surpassed everyone, even doubling or tripling their height. At this moment, observing the crowd's movements, Sovereign Lei Bo saw Yichun achieve 10 layers of divine light after just half the time, and was utterly astonished. 10 layers of divine light? How so quickly? To reach 10 layers of divine light? Even those of the extreme spirit clan with high compatibility with the immaculate body-protecting divine light need to spend most of an hour or even the full hour to reach this level. After all, 10 to 12 layers of divine light infusion correspond to the sovereign level ability to resist demon pollution. Many sovereigns in our Extreme Spirit clan can't achieve this level of resistance. Sovereign Lebo was filled with shock. Chapter 1038 His Summoning. Accepting the infusion of divine light, no matter whether they are members of the Extreme Spirit clan or outsiders, has only an hour's time. The best result for members of the Extreme Spirit clan in receiving divine light infusion is an hour of 10 layers of protective divine light. Beyond that, they cannot receive any more and can only rely on continuous practice of the immaculate body-protecting divine skill to enhance their resistance to demon pollution. No one has ever reached 11 layers or more of divinely infused light within 1 hour of infusion. Back then, Lord Yen left this divine statue and the mantra for infusing divine light to help members of the Extreme Spirit clan and those who visit the clan to enhance their resistance to the demon-polluted beast more significantly in a single instance. Of course, this assistance is limited to an hour as it is the maximum duration the receiver can withstand without immense damage. Lord Yen would certainly not encourage excessive haste. To further elevate the level of the immaculate body-protecting divine skill and enhance resistance against demon-polluted beasts, it must be done through personal cultivation. It is because of this principle that when it was discovered Yi Chun had already received 10 layers of divinely infused light in just half an hour, Sovereign Lebo was deeply shaken. But what shocked Sovereign Lebo even more was yet to come. According to what Sovereign Lebo knows, the speed of infusing immaculate body-protecting divine skill, divine light slows down considerably in the latter half, where even gaining one more layer of protective divine light is extremely difficult. Typically, most results are achieved in the first half hour. But Sovereign Lebo observed that after half an hour, while others slowed down, Yi Chen's rate of receiving the infusions showed no signs of slowing. Just moments later, Yi Chun was elevated by the divine light, soaring several dozen feet higher, reaching nearly 200 feet in height, with protective divine light on him already at 11 layers. 11 layers. Yi Chen's current achievement has reached a degree countless members of the Extreme Spirit clan had never reached in receiving divine light infusion. And when looking down, the second highest achievement was still at 6 layers of divine light, not even reaching medium results, let alone upper-level ones. As for the others, many still remained at the eliminated level of divine light. Wow! When this scene emerged, all members of the Extreme Spirit clan watching from the viewing area of this Extreme Spirit Martial Land selection stood up in awe. These members of the Extreme Spirit clan live in the clan and have experienced divine light infusion before. They are extremely familiar with the results of divine light infusion. Outsiders lasting an hour might result in elimination or lower level scores, or at best achieve medium scores, outcomes that the members of the Extreme Spirit clan could accept. After all, across countless ages and people, only a very few within the Extreme Spirit clan can achieve upper-level results during divine light infusion, with the majority needing ongoing self-cultivation to improve their immaculate body-protecting divine skill. The second round of selection yielded 3 upper-level results. This divine light infusion takes place in the third round of selection, where achieving even one upper-level result can be imagined by the members of the Extreme Spirit clan. But none of them expected that someone would reach an upper-level result so quickly this time. And currently, the only person to achieve an upper-level score has surpassed all clan members' achievements, reaching an 11-layer infusion of divine light. This is simply unimaginable for members of the Extreme Spirit clan. It's him. It's the Divine King Zhongli. He's beyond imagination. He defeated our clan's 3 members and reached sovereign-level combat power while in the God King realm, which is already extremely incredible. He also achieved upper-level results in the previous second round of selection in the Fate Tribulation Cave, the first to successfully clear the upper-level Fate Tribulation Cave exit. Now, in accepting divine light infusion, he's creating a miracle again, surpassing all of our clan members to reach an 11-layer height of divine light. How is this possible? Countless members of the Extreme Spirit clan stood up in astonishment. Among them even Linger, who had immense faith in Yi Chun, stood up in surprise. After all, surpassing the divine light infusion results from an entire clan spanning countless ages is truly shocking. However, what shocked the members of the Extreme Spirit Clan even more lay ahead. Swoosh! Shortly thereafter, Yi-chun, who had already reached an 11-layer infusion of divine light and a height close to 200 feet, continued to ascend, breaking through to a height of 400 feet. The divine light infused in him reached the sovereign level maximum, 12-layer infusion of divine light. This ignited a monstrous wave of astonishment in the hearts of Sovereign Lei Bo and all the members of the Extreme Spirit Clan present. 12-layer infusion of divine light. This is the strongest degree of divine light among all people of the Extreme Spirit Clan. Even some sovereigns who have practiced the immaculate body-protecting divine skill for countless years can only reach this level. All members of the Extreme Spirit Clan cannot imagine that such a level can be achieved with a single infusion. At this moment, Yi-chun was observed by Yinlinger, Sovereign Lei Bo, and the members of the Extreme Spirit Clan with a look carrying an unbelievable conjecture. Could he possibly continue to improve? Might he break through to the beyond sovereign level, immaculate body-protecting divine light infusion level? Although the immaculate body-protecting divine light only targets the demon-polluted beast and the even more terrifying exotic beasts behind it, and cannot enhance combat power, achieving the beyond sovereign level for immaculate body-protecting divine light is an altogether unimaginable feat. Countless eyes were fixed on Yi-chun, sitting cross-legged in the void. They watched as Yi-chun continued to float upwards, continuing to accept the divine light infusion, and advancing towards an unimaginable infusion of divine light level. Everyone held their breath. At this moment, some people below had reached the 7th level of divine light infusion, achieving a medium score, while the rest had either lower scores or were eliminated. In fact, the speed at which most people were accepting the divine light infusion had slowed to the point where it could barely improve. All these people had been completely outpaced by Yi-chun. Even the members of the Extreme Spirit Clan were not paying attention to anyone else. They were all looking at Yi-chun, whose speed hadn't slowed down and was still floating upwards. At this rate, they even had a hunch that perhaps they were about to witness the birth of an immaculate protective divine light infusion level that surpasses the sovereign level. Every member of the Extreme Spirit Clan had heard that such a level belonged to the highest level of immaculate body-protecting divine skill, where the protective divine light completely transforms into golden infusing divine light, capable of completely shielding against the damage brought by demon-polluted beasts, and even defending against some of the damage from more terrifying exotic beasts that are responsible for the demon pollution behind them, but they had never seen it with their own eyes. Could it be that we're about to witness a miracle? Everyone from the Extreme Spirit Clan thought in their hearts. And their premonition was not wrong. As the passage of time brought the infusion period closer to its end, Yi-chun's floating height continued to rise. The infusion of divine light on Yi-chun's body was continuously increasing, and although the color of the divine light hadn't changed yet, it was clear that these infusions of divine light were on the verge of a qualitative transformation. And just minutes before the hour of infusion time ended, something happened that left all members of the Extreme Spirit Clan dizzy. Boom! Suddenly, in a burst of divine light flashes, they saw Yi-chun being hoisted directly to over 900. Zhang high by the infusion of divine light, right facing the eyes of the divine statue. At this moment, from the eyes of the divine statue, whose features were always unclear, 2 beams of divine light suddenly shot out, directed at Yi-chun. These 2 beams of divine light surged endlessly, as if teeming with unimaginable power, and the infusion of divine light that had accumulated thickly on Yi-chun finally underwent a metamorphosis, transforming from silver to an even more divine golden hue. Golden, immaculate body-protecting divine light infusion. This symbolized that Yi-chun had stepped into a superior to sovereign level demon pollution resistance, a capability that didn't enhance his combat power, but could help him fend off all demon pollution from the demon-polluted beasts, and even withstand some harm from more terrifying exotic beasts whose mere aura can transform into demon-polluted beasts. At this moment, All the members of the Extreme Spirit clan in the viewing area outside could not help but scream out loud when they saw this scene. Even Sovereign Lei Bo, who was responsible for the selection area in the third location, screamed out loud. This sound even woke up all the other candidates below, who had stopped their ascent, from the peculiar state of accepting the divine light infusion. These candidates, seeing their own positions and the divine light infusion they had accepted, were astounded and overjoyed. And when they followed Sovereign Lei Bo's gaze and saw Yi Chun, who was almost infinitely taller than them and had reached the height of the divine statue's head, as well as the golden infusion of divine light on Yi Chun, these foreign race personnel also cried out in disbelief. Golden infusion of divine light? Didn't Sovereign Lei Bo say this is infusion of divine light that surpasses the sovereign level and is absolutely impossible to achieve? The entire selection location, inside and out, was in shock. But what these people did not know was that Yi Chun, who had achieved an incredible feat at this moment, was equally shocked in his heart, wanting to cry out in surprise. However, Yi Chun was now immersed in the strange state of accepting the infusion of divine light, and couldn't call out. When Yi Chun reached the 11th layer of divine light infusion, there was still no anomaly, but afterwards, Yi Chun discovered that the peculiar rune on his body, which had transported him from the ancient forbidden grounds to the Sea of Taboo, appeared again at the site of this divine statue following its previous appearance at Photographing Spirit Mirror. And the appearance of this peculiar rune allowed Yi Chun to continue crazily absorbing the infusion of divine light, and the divine light level kept breaking through. Otherwise, relying solely on Yi Chun, although the 11-layer infusion of divine light was already beyond all members of the Extreme Spirit clan, it would definitely not reach the infusion of divine light level that surpasses the sovereign level. Yi Chun, agitated in mind and spirit, didn't understand the sudden appearance of the peculiar rune to absorb the infusion of divine light, and what it meant for his immaculate body-protecting divine skill, divine light level promotion. However, unbeknownst to Yi Chun at this time, in a bizarre cave dwelling within the peculiar underwater realm of the Sea of Taboo, within a special space in the lower realm, there was a character clad in fiery robes, who seemed to have sensed something and suddenly opened his eyes. This character in fiery robes murmured to himself, The person who was inadvertently drawn to the Sea of Taboo, by the spare measure I left in the ancient forbidden grounds among the 18 ancient temples, had gone to Extreme Spirit Clan, and happened upon the divine statue I left, achieving the immaculate body-protecting divine light. I was thinking of preparing a bit more before summoning him here to assist me in escaping my predicament. Unexpectedly, he stumbled upon my other means by chance. In that case, his journey here won't be too dangerous. Nonetheless, while the danger isn't great, there is still some risk. Since this person has been involuntarily involved with me, protecting him must come first. I'll make some further preparations before summoning him here. With the immaculate body-protecting divine light, the time I need to prepare can now be significantly reduced. Chapter 1039- Unbelievable Achievement. The mysterious figure hidden deep within the Sea of Taboo strange abode, from his words, seems to be greatly linked with Yi Chun's transmission from the ancient forbidden grounds to the Sea of Taboo, and with the divine light infusion into the divine statue. If any elder of the Extreme Spirit clan sees this person, they would likely be astonished to the extreme, for this man had indeed helped the Extreme Spirit clan eradicate the demon-polluted beast, saving the clan and leaving them with the immaculate body-protecting divine skill, infused with divine light, belonging to Lord Yen. Lord Yen, who hasn't been seen for a long time, is unexpectedly hidden within the mysterious abode of the Sea of Taboo. And from his words, it seems even someone of his stature is trapped in this strange abode. Of course, Yi Chun knows nothing about the events within the Sea of Taboo, nor do the members of the Extreme Spirit clan. Yi Chun remains in shock at the abnormal infusion of endless divine light into his body, and members of the Extreme Spirit clan in the selection arena are equally shocked by the ongoing breaking of the divine light infusion record. The entire selection arena presents a peculiar scene. In the third selection arena, Sovereign Lei Bo and other foreign race selectors all stare at the void with mouths agape in surprise. In the void, Yi Chun is enveloped by two beams of divine light emitted from the divine statue's eyes and endless infusing divine light, frantically absorbing it like a whale swallowing a snake. This scene persisted until the 2-hour divine light infusion period ended completely. Yi Chun felt as if he had absorbed another force, almost as strong as the mysterious rune, stored within his body. This force is the defensive power of the immaculate body-protecting divine skill. Unlike the astonishing force within the mysterious rune that Yi Chun cannot control, the defensive power of the immaculate body-protecting divine skill, infused into his body, Yi Chun feels he can use at will, as long as he activates it according to the immaculate body-protecting divine skill, activation skills. This power could help him withstand the dreadful, demonic corruption attack of the demon-polluted beast. It can be said that, having absorbed the overwhelming infusion of divine light, Yi Chun is completely unafraid of the threat from the demon-polluted beast now. When Yi Chun emerged from the state of absorbing divine light and opened his eyes again, the other foreign race personnel who had long finished absorbing, along with Sovereign Lei Bo hosting the selection, quickly gathered around him. Everyone was asking Yi Chun why he could perform such a miracle. Everyone was asking about the feeling of absorbing divine light beyond sovereign level, especially Sovereign Lei Bo, who looked at Yi Chun with eyes akin to viewing a monster, eager to question him about all matters regarding the abnormal divine light infusion. Seeing countless pairs of eyes filled with shock and awe directed at him, Yi Chun could only shake his head with a bitter smile. Yi Chun himself doesn't know why he can absorb so much divine light. The mysterious rune that inexplicably induced the divine light infusion. Yi Chun couldn't possibly explain such secretive and peculiar matters to others. Yi Chun could only say that perhaps he resonated with the divine light infusion, causing such abnormality. Unable to provide an explanation, everyone could only accept this outcome with regret and shock. The 4 rounds of selection have not yet fully concluded, and there is still the final 4th round waiting to be completed. Sovereign Lei Bo can no longer dwell on the 3rd round of divine light infusion, so he began to announce the results of the 3rd round and the details of the 4th round of selection. In the 3rd round divine light infusion selection, only Yi Chun achieved an upper-level rating, while only 3 people achieved a middle-level rating. There are over 3,000 who achieved a lower-level rating. The remaining nearly 10,000 foreign personnel were directly eliminated in this 3rd round of selection. The 1st round photographing spirit mirror test eliminated the fewest people. The 2nd round Fate Tribulation Cave eliminated tens of thousands, and the 3rd round Divine Light Infusion again eliminated thousands. Now, only more than 3,000 people can continue to participate in the 4th round of selection. This elimination rate is rather staggering. It's no wonder the Extreme Spirit Clan cannot allow all foreign race members to enter the Extreme Spirit Sea, only selecting a very few to enter. When those eliminated in the 3rd round departed from the 3rd selection realm as instructed by Sovereign Lei Bo and returned to the viewing area to prepare to leave the selection realm from there, the Extreme Spirit Clan members in the viewing area hurriedly flew up and surrounded these eliminated personnel. They directly asked these eliminated personnel about the miracles Yi Chun created. The Extreme Spirit Clan members watching the selection process from outside saw Yi Chun absorb the Divine Light Infusion beyond sovereign level and achieve the incredible Divine Light Infusion record. But they didn't hear Yi Chun explain what exactly happened. Now, with those eliminated from the selection alongside Yi Chun, they naturally wanted to inquire about everything. Nonetheless, these Extreme Spirit Clan members were disappointed because they didn't learn anything either. After all, these eliminated members hadn't been told anything by Yi Chun earlier. The viewing Extreme Spirit Clan members could only let these foreign personnel leave. However, as they looked through the screen at Yi Chun, who still had to continue with the selection, the shock in their eyes lingered for a long time. Among the crowd, the little girl Linger gazed at Yi Chun within the screen with her beautiful eyes, murmuring in her heart. Yi Chun brother is now the only one who still maintains an upper-level rating after the first 3 rounds, and he might still achieve an upper-level rating after the 4th round ends. At that time, Yichen brother will have the best selection results, absolutely able to join the best task force and accumulate merit points at the fastest speed. It's just unknown what the fourth round of selection will be. Residing in the viewing area, before the fourth round selection begins, Linger and other extreme spirit clan members didn't know what the next selection assessment would be. They could only quietly wait for the selection to begin. Meanwhile, after escorting the eliminated personnel from the third round out, Sovereign Lei Bo directly addressed the remaining more than 3,000 people. I previously stated, the fourth round selection method is to enter 18 areas of demon-polluted beast realms to slay demon-polluted beasts. The divine light of immaculate body-protecting divine skill you attained in the third round can help you resist the corresponding demonic corruption attack from the demon-polluted beasts. According to the divine light levels you obtained earlier, you will enter the corresponding demon-polluted beast realms to slay demon-polluted beasts. Among these 18 realms, 8 are lower-level demon-polluted beast realms, where those who achieved a lower-level divine light result enter. 5 are middle-level demon-polluted beast realms, where those who achieved middle-level divine light results enter. The last 5 are upper-level demon-polluted beast realms, which only Zhongli can enter. Finally, Sovereign Lei Bo directly looked at Yichun. Yichun nodded at Sovereign Lei Bo, continuing to listen to what else he had to say. Sovereign Lei Bo continued. Although you have corresponding divine light of immaculate body-protecting divine skill that can defend against corresponding levels of demon-polluted beasts, preventing their demon pollution. Nevertheless, slaying demon-polluted beasts won't be easy. These demon-polluted beasts, though unable to further pollute you, are exceptionally stealthy and cunning in nature, making them challenging to kill. In the fourth round selection, you must strive to maintain your current results. Those in lower-level demon-polluted beast realms can achieve at most a lower-level result, and as stipulated, you must slay at least 10 demon-polluted beasts within 2 hours to successfully maintain your result. If not, you will be directly eliminated. Those in middle-level demon-polluted beast realms can also achieve at most middle-level results, and similarly, if you fail to slay at least 10 demon-polluted beasts, you will be eliminated too. The upper-level demon-polluted beast realm, where Zhongli is, operates similarly. You must maintain the upper-level results of the fourth round selection by slaying at least 10 demon-polluted beasts there. Those upper-realm demon-polluted beasts all evolve and transfer from other realms as the most formidable sovereign-level demon-polluted beasts. Zhongli, you must be cautious in dealing with them. Finally, Sovereign Lei Bo addressed the remaining more than 3,000 selected personnel. He solemnly stated, "This fourth round can be termed as slaying battle and hold-off battle. Failing to uphold your level results will only lead to elimination. Shortly, I will transmit everyone to their corresponding demon-polluted beast realms to prepare for the last round of selection assessment." Chapter 1040- Slaying. Sovereign Lei Bo's words caused the faces of all the foreign race members present to change dramatically. None of them expected that in this fourth round of selection, they couldn't aim for a better score but had to maintain the results from the third round, and failing to do so would lead to direct elimination. Many of them were still prepared to strive for a better result in the fourth round of selection. Now it seems there's no hope at all. Forget about having no hope. Even ensuring they are not eliminated in the fourth round would be commendable. Hearing the rules of the fourth round of selection, Yichun was also a bit surprised. Yichun also didn't expect this fourth round to be a promotion battle style, where failure means elimination. However, compared to the other foreign race members being utterly dejected, Yichun was not at all depressed. By now, Yichun had already achieved a superior grade in the previous rounds, and in this final round, he also had hope of achieving a superior grade. As long as he completes the promotion requirement of the fourth round, killing 10 superior realm demon-polluted beasts would suffice. Although the superior realm demon-polluted beasts correspond to sovereign-level demon-polluted beasts, and there must be high-level sovereign demon-polluted beasts among them, Yichun had an astonishing immaculate body-protecting divine skill, infused with divine light. Those demon-polluted beasts simply could not harm him. He only needed to choose the sovereign-level demon-polluted beasts he could kill and slay them. 10 heads? This number, in 2 hours, Yi Chun was confident he could complete it. As the remaining over 3,000 contestants were contemplating in mind and spirit, Sovereign Lei Bo's voice once again reached everyone's ears. After I teleport you, you will begin your exploration in your respective realms. Whether it's the 5 superior realms, 5 medium realms, or the weakest 8 lower realms, the realms of the same level in different areas are interconnected. For example, the 5 superior realms are all interlinked, and the demon-polluted beasts hidden within can move between them. Once you enter, find and slay the demon-polluted beasts that you can kill in these areas. With the sound of Sovereign Lei Bo's voice, he held a strange stone in his hand again. Sovereign Lei Bo raised the stone high towards the divine statue, silently recited a mantra, and immediately, the divine statue once again emitted strange light, enveloping Yi Chun and more than 3,000 others. And as the strange light fully enveloped them, these lights directly caused Yi Chun and the others to disappear from the platform in front of the divine statue. The next moment, as the world spun, Yi Chun saw himself arriving in a sealed world. The reason he could feel this world was sealed was that Yi Chun could sense that above the polar heaven and below the earth in this world, there were powerful energy prohibitions hidden, as if this entire world was thoroughly isolated. Yi Chun knew this must be the superior realm among the 18 demon-polluted beast realms, specially created by Lord Yen for the extreme spirit clan back in the day. Upon arriving in this realm, Yi Chun immediately activated the immaculate body-protecting divine skill. The previously received infusion of divine light directly formed a golden light shield, enveloping his entire body. Then, with a flicker of his form, Yi Chun began searching for demon-polluted beasts in this world. As Yi Chun entered the superior realm and began searching for demon-polluted beasts, the other foreign race members also entered the medium realms and lower realms, respectively, starting their search for their corresponding demon-polluted beasts. Meanwhile, in the viewing area outside, the void light screen flickered, directly displaying the scenes faced by everyone in different realms. The scene of more than 3,000 people searching for and slaying demon-polluted beasts was densely spread across a vast void. Fortunately, the extreme spirit clan members present were all figures above the true god realm with extremely powerful divine sense. A sweep of their divine sense could cover all these light screens. Eventually, nearly all eyes were on the light screen corresponding to Yi Chun. After all, by reaching the 4th round, only Yi Chun had a chance to achieve a superior grade, while the best others could do was a medium grade. Naturally, everyone was more concerned about the best result. At this time, a member of the Extreme Spirit Clan commented, "The demon-polluted beasts in the superior realm correspond to sovereign-level demon-polluted beasts. Those in the medium realm correspond to divine venerable level demon-polluted beasts, and those in the lower realm correspond to God King level demon-polluted beasts. These contestants all have the protection of immaculate body-protecting divine skill, infused with divine light. There's no worry about the demon pollution threat of the demon-polluted beasts. They just need to find a way to slay the demon-polluted beasts. Even if the demon-polluted beasts are cunning, it's simplest to slay God King level and divine venerable level demon-polluted beasts, while it's the hardest to slay sovereign level demon-polluted beasts. After all, even if the sovereign-level demon-polluted beasts cannot harm the contestants with a demonic pollution attack, a typical contestant simply cannot kill a sovereign-level demon-polluted beast. In that sense, the upper god king, Zhongli, faces the greatest difficulty in slaying them. It's not easy at all for him to achieve a superior grade in the 4th round. These words caused the others to nod in agreement. Indeed, while Zhongli has to slay sovereign-level demon-polluted beasts, the others only need to slay divine venerable level and god king level. Clearly, Zhongli's trial is the toughest. Who told him he's the only one with any hope of continuing to achieve a superior grade? The difficulty of slaying those demon-polluted beasts is something our Extreme Spirit Clan is well aware of. It remains to be seen if this magical god king can continue to maintain his magic in the 4th round. At this moment, Someone supportive of Yi Chun directly said, "There's no need to worry about that Zhongli God King. He already possesses sovereign-level combat power and has just received so much infusion of divine light, indicating secrets within him far beyond our imagination. Even if he can't kill high-level demon-polluted beasts in the superior realm, he can certainly slay 10 low-star to 2-star sovereign-level demon-polluted beasts." In the midst of various discussions, suddenly someone pointed at the light screen where Yi Chun was and shouted loudly, "Look, the Upper God King Zhongli has finally encountered the first demon-polluted beast. My goodness, 6 silver horns. This demonic corruption beast is a 6-star sovereign-level demonic corruption beast, the space of the demonic corruption beast where Yi Chun resides." At this moment, Yi Chun was watching an exotic beast that had suddenly appeared in front of him, his eyes gleaming brightly. This was an ugly exotic beast, pitch black like ink, half a yard in size, resembling a beast and a wolf. Yet it had special silver horns, and it had 6 silver horns. Its entire body shimmered with a bizarre ink-black light, and when Yi Chun looked at this exotic beast, he could feel that the ink-black fur seemed to be endowed with a mysterious power, as if it concealed a strange devouring space. Yi Chun had never seen such an exotic beast. However, a thought quickly flashed through Yi Chun's mind.
Démonique corruption beast.
This exotic beast is definitely that terrifying demonic corruption beast. Wow. When Yi Chun was scrutinizing this suddenly appearing exotic beast, it flickered with incredible speed and suddenly appeared in front of Yi Chun. It opened its mouth and spewed a large mass of ink-black light, covering towards Yi Chun. Is this the demonic pollution that can corrode a martial artist's divine strength? Seeing this large mass of ink-black light rushing towards him, Yi Chun remained completely calm. He didn't dodge at all. The immaculate body-protecting divine skill on him infused with divine light greeted the mass of ink-black light. At the instant when the gold and black light spheres intersected, Yi Chun's golden, immaculate body-protecting divine skill light directly swallowed the entire demon-polluted power of the 6-horned demonic corruption beast into the golden light. With a flicker, the ink-black light inside completely disappeared without a trace. It must be known that the golden light on Yi Chun's body, that is an infusion of divine light surpassing the sovereign level, even the sovereign-level demonic corruption beast before him is absolutely not a match for the infusion of divine light that surpasses the sovereign level. Lord Yen once said that with the infusion of divine light surpassing the sovereign level, one is not afraid of any demonic corruption beast. Certainly not an empty boast. However, Yi Chun's next problem is how to kill the demonic corruption beast in front of him. Just as the demonic corruption beast flickered earlier, Yi Chun felt that the demonic corruption beast was definitely not a 1-star or 2-star sovereign-level demonic corruption beast. Its speed was even faster than Yi Chun's. Certainly not something Yi Chun's normal combat power could kill. 6 silver horns? Could this be a 6-star sovereign-level demonic corruption beast? Thinking of this possibility, Yi Chun was startled. A 6-star sovereign-level demon, even if allowed to attack, he absolutely could not even scratch it. At that level, the defensive strength alone is definitely not something Yi Chun can overcome right now. The 6-horned demonic corruption beast opposite, seeing that Yi Chun could eradicate its demon-polluted power, showed an expression of disbelief in its ugly eyes. However, it seemed to see that Yi Chun's realm was far less than its own, and simply did not think about fleeing. Its shrill howl came, no longer spitting out demon-polluted power, but instead directly lunging its entire body towards Yi Chun. Seeing this 6-horned demonic corruption beast charging, Yi Chun could only continue using the immaculate body-protecting divine skill, infused divine light, to defend. The immaculate body-protecting divine skill was quite extraordinary. This demonic corruption beast, even if not using demonic pollution to attack, just by colliding with its body, was still bounced off by the infused divine light shield. Evidently, with the immaculate body-protecting divine skill, infused divine light, a demonic corruption beast couldn't even break through to kill the protected person. Seeing its attack was fruitless, Yi Chun was directly protected by the light shield. The 6 silver-horned demonic corruption beast seemed extraordinarily enraged, followed by sharp howls, and after the piercing sound, whoosh whoosh whoosh, Sounds rose around, and in an instant, over 20 demonic corruption beasts appeared, surrounding Yi Chun completely. These over 20 demonic corruption beasts had varying numbers of silver horns, some with 1 horn, some with 3, each different. But it was the earlier 6-horned demonic corruption beast that had the most horns. Upon appearing, all these demonic corruption beasts charged at Yi Chun, but similarly could not break Yi Chen's infused divine light defense, and at this time, Yi Chen's mind and spirit flickered, the starry origin power slashed out, and amid the boundless divine light slashing, the other demonic corruption beasts remained unchanged, while 2 one-horned demonic corruption beasts were directly killed on the spot. These 2 one-horned demonic corruption beasts should be 1-star sovereign realm. Definitely not my match. The others, the weakest, have 3 horns, should be 3-star sovereign realm demonic corruption beasts. I still cannot injure them.
Ye Chan murmured softly.
And at this time, seeing Yi Chun slay 2 demonic corruption beasts, the other demonic corruption beasts were extremely enraged. Their roars echoed, but they did not drive the weaker demonic corruption beasts closer, while the remaining high-level demonic corruption beasts completely surrounded Yi Chun. Even if they couldn't harm Yi Chun, they aimed to completely trap Yi Chun here.